into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning expresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Oh, good morning and welcome to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC on this glorious, shall we do it together?
Yes.
Friday.
Yay!
And yay, we're so happy that you're here. I'm so happy to see you guys.
Oh, you too, man.
We're so
You're
lucky.
tall
Best team in the
today.
world.
I'm feeling very
I'm eating my veggies, you guys. My veggies.
Oh, I love it. Well, talk about standing tall. It's time for the Springbok franchise, or at least the South African franchises in Super Rugby to stand tall. We've got a couple of massive fixtures coming up this weekend, and the Tour de France is now nearing its final stages. We've got the world famous Carl Lewis, not the sprinter, the sports journal, here to take us through all of those weekend highlights.
Oh, exciting things. And then speaking of the weekend, we're going to connect with the 5FM team to give you our pick of the week, basically telling you all the cool things happening in and around the country.
Like, so, hoorah,
many
come on,
cool
hoorah.
And then hot off the heels of his latest music video release for Belief, Chad Simon is explaining the lyrics he used in the song because it's an amazing music video and I love the song.
Yeah, he's just going from strength to strength. And speaking of which, she is back. Cannot wait to catch up with this phenomenal talent. Philippa is here.
Yes.
Oh, man, it's always a pleasure to have her around. She's going to perform for you this morning, so you better stick around.
Absolutely. Stick around indeed. But before we do anything else, let's catch up with what's happening in the weather. Good morning, Ewan.
Good morning, team, and a very warm welcome from my side as well on your Feel Good Friday morning. Let's quickly get you updated with those temperatures. Now, it'll be a cold and cloudy day for most parts of the country with some sunshine in the north. Now, over the weekend, you can expect some light rain over the southern Cape Coast on Saturday, moving up to KZN on Sunday morning. Jou temperature vanoggend Polokwane begin op 4 grade minimum. Dit styg na 22 later, Mbombela 8:24, Pretoria 7:22, Johannesburg 5 grade minimum en 'n maksimum 21, Mahikeng 5:25, Klerksdorp 5:23, Kimberley begin op 2 grade minimum en styg na warmer 22, Bloemfontein lekker koud vanoggend -4 en styg na maksimum 20, Richards Bay 13:24, Pietermaritzburg 6:22, Durban 17:22, Mthatha begin op 4, dit styg ook na 22, East London on a 9 this morning with a maximum of 20, Cradock nice and cold -2 but warming up to 22 degrees, Port Elizabeth 9:17, George 7:17, Sutherland also on the colder side on -2 this morning with a maximum of a cool 16, Cape Town 10 also staying cool with a maximum of 16, Worcester 0:18, Springbok on 3 this morning and a mild 24 later, and Uppington starting off on 5 degrees and heading up to a maximum of 25 degrees. That's a wrap of your weather for the 6:30 bulletin. We'll keep you updated with your temperatures throughout the course of your Friday. I'm back just after 7 with another look.
Well, let's take another look at what you can expect in your roads this morning. If you're in the Gauteng area, traffic is congested leading up to the Galulies interchange. And if you are making your way in Cape Town this morning in Athlone, there's some mist this morning, so please be careful on the roads. Reduce your speed and increase to see visibly. On the M5 northbound, expect slow-moving traffic. That's between Racecourse Road and the Klipfontein Road. And there's also been an accident on the N2 inbound. It's on the side of the carriageway. That's just before Bunga Avenue exit. Roads are wet this morning, so please be careful. That's where we leave your traffic for now. We'll bring you another update in half an hour's time.
So after an incredible 185 matches played, we've finally made it to the Super Rugby quarterfinals, and we'll see 3 South African teams in action this weekend. Sports journalist Carl Lewis, he joins us this morning ahead of a massive weekend, not just for rugby, but we've got the Tour de France now getting to the business end as well. I noticed you're wearing your birthday socks. Does that mean it's your birthday? Happy birthday, bro.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for choosing to start your day with us. Let's dive right in with our Super Rugby. It's a rematch of sorts against the Chiefs, the Stormers. They've earned that home quarterfinal match and they've tested their depth. Their players have gone from strength to strength. Just a couple of changes being made to the team due to, obviously players coming back in from injury. But Robbie Fleck must be thinking he has done everything he could do building up until this point. Now it really is in their hands.
Yes, definitely. This is the test of the Stormers BMT. I mean, They've come a long way from last year when the Chiefs knocked them out. I think they beat them 60-21 at the same stage. And this year, they kind of exacted some revenge, buried some demons of that final when they beat the Chiefs. But the Stormers, I do worry about them when it comes to knockout time. They seem to struggle at that stage. And yeah, so it's a real test about the mind, really, because they definitely have the tools to do it. But as a team, mentally, if they've made that shift from last year, we'll see on Saturday. And I really hope they do come through.
Yeah, and I think with their leadership, I think Sia has been brilliant all season. Eben seems to be back to his full strength, so hopefully the guiding light will be there. Then we look at our next quarterfinal. The Lions don't need to change anything. They shouldn't change anything. They haven't changed anything in terms of that team. However, the Sharks really need to look at those 50-50 moments. They made some bad decisions, perhaps a couple of moments not going their way, but you never know what to expect from them, certainly from this season's perspective. Big guys, very physical up front. How do you see that playing out?
I agree with you there with regards to the Sharks and their physicality. I think that's the one way they can break down the Lions is if it's an arm wrestling match. I think that's how the Sharks can beat the Lions. If they try and go toe-to-toe with the Lions in terms of playing with ball in hand, they're not going to win because the Lions are the best South African team in the competition. At least they finished top of the log of the general competition. So I think this could be the Lions year. And also what makes it special is it's the Johan Ackerman's last season with the Lions. So I think there's there's an emotional aspect to the Lions a quarterfinal performance this season. Yeah.
And they do seem to feed off that. And we have to congratulate Ruan Combrink on earning his 50th
Yes.
Super Rugby cap as well.
Indeed.
So we tip our hats there. And we've got the Brumbies up against the Hurricanes later this morning. And rounding that off, we've got the Crusaders up against the Highlanders. But what an awesome Super Rugby season. Now, we move to the Tour de France. We've gotten over Sagan's rather dubious exit, I have to say. It seems it's Team Sky have been brilliant as a team. As much as Froome has been fantastic, his team has really protected him. We've seen Kettle have, I don't know how many stage wins, which makes it, it's incredible that he hasn't kind of been there and thereabouts. How do you see this final kind of race to Paris working out now?
I think you hit the nail on the head with regards to Sky. I think they are an excellent team and they've done so. I mean, Chris Froome, the leader, hasn't won a stage this year, but his team is just so on top of things. I do think he's a shoo-in to win. So he'll win the Tour de France this year. A 23-second lead. Today's stage, it's not entirely flat, but I don't see any rider being able to make any gains on Chris Froome today. And Froome is probably the best time trialist on the race. So on Saturday, I don't think anyone's going to make up any time. So
faultless.
It
really has. And we have to tip our hats to Louis Meintjes in the mix in the top 10, man. So absolutely brilliant. Well, sir, go and celebrate this birthday weekend by taking in as much sport as you possibly can. Congratulations to you again, man, as well. And go and soak it all up, people. It's a brilliant weekend of sport. It's into the quarterfinals of Super Rugby.
Well, time for us to catch up with social media this morning. And yes, it is a Friday. Yay, we're so happy, we're celebrating. But we're asking this morning, do you feel a little bit like Zoe in this picture? Do you want to give us a caption for the moment above? Let's see. God says, good morning, peeps. I definitely feel like it's Friday and I need to do something nice because it's the weekend. Lovely day for me. Vincent says, hey, Expresso family, have a beautiful day and it's a lovely Friday. Jennifer says, yes, you do have 10 toes. Okay, maybe she was checking, maybe she wasn't. Shfeb says, it's my day Friday. Had my workout last night and my wheels are rolling already. Well done, Ursh, you're up it. And then Henko says, morning fam of mine, I'm just blessed to wake up on this beautiful day, 100. And then Susan says, alive. So that's wonderful. Thank you for your comments. Keep them coming. And of course, we want to know, how do you feel on this beautiful Friday?
Now, there is only one other breakfast team out there that might be just as crazy now, let's say. They are far more crazy than we are at this ridiculous early hour. Time to connect with the Roger Good team. So, wrestling rider, Miss Cosmo, Robbie Cruz. I feel like I'm at a live rugby game when I connect with you guys. Feel the love. How you doing, my brother? What you got for us?
We just come on and destroy your TV show every Friday. I don't know why.
And we love it. We love it.
All right, we got 3 picks for you. We'll start off in Johannesburg, the Rush Expo. Rush is the very first esports event of its kind in South Africa, bringing you a number of different esport tournaments and activities together under one roof. It's a multi-tournament, multi-platform, multi-game event. It will give you visitors the opportunity to experience the exciting world of competitive video gaming firsthand. Don't miss it. That's happening at the Sandton Convention Center, Friday 21 July to Sunday the 23rd of July. That's this weekend. Off to the Kings and Queens Comedy, the Kings and Queens of Comedy, Sandton Convention Center as well, the Pavilion, Johannesburg. Who needs a court jester when we have the Kings and Queens of Comedy doing it themselves? The Kings and Queens of Comedy, South Africa's leading comedy brand, and they are now coming to Sandton Pavilion with a lineup filled with royalty of hilarious dudes and ladies. Grab your family and friends and join in on the laughs. And finally, Amstersand in Newtown, Johannesburg, featuring a DJ lineup of Travisto, DJ Bukle, Justin Miller, and DJ Hare. Ampersand promises to deliver a night inspired by deep grooves and bumping beats. So make sure you get down to Newtown this weekend, Saturday, the 22nd of July. Over to you.
Yeah, well, speaking of deep grooves, we've got the one and only Timo ODV down in Cape Town for the weekend. He is an amazing guy, and he is even better on the deck. So you can get down to Chivago in Claremont this Saturday. Grab your crew, get your best mates out there, get your girl looking gorgeous, and go and get down to some of the hottest grooves that we've heard over the last couple of years. And finally, I have to say, can I get a hoorah? My week is complete. Thank you so much to the Roger Good team. That's what's coming your way in our pick of this weekend's highlights.
Well, listen, we're taking a quick break on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Hot off the release of his brand new musical, Chad Simon's Belief, we're going to get a little bit of a sneak peek of what he means with the lyrics. He'll be explaining them to us.
Yeah, man, we love Chad Simon. What a phenomenal artist. And then, of course, we're bringing you what's trending this morning in the J-Bay Open. It'll be remembered as the most exciting one yet. We'll tell you exactly why, but there's a shark involved, a 3-meter great white. Okay.
Oh, no. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome to it. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso right here on SABC3. It's not a Friday, but a Fry. Yay! Yes, we gotta say it. Let's get into your local entertainment news quickly.
It is really an awesome day today, hey?
It is an awesome day.
It's an awesome day. Well, we must say that legendary Grammy-winning musician Ray Peary, who passed away last week at the age of only 70 years old from lung cancer, was lovingly remembered at his memorial yesterday. The memorial at Mbombela Stadium in Mpumalanga saw family and friends and government officials, also fellow industry colleagues and fans gathered to honor the legendary artist. Now, artists including Ray's fellow Stimela crew member took to the stage to perform some songs of worship as Ray's family battled to hold back the tears. Family spokesperson Paul Nkanyane also said it had been a hard time for the family, and while they knew it was coming, it's still hard to accept at the end of the day, and we certainly agree, but we truly are glad to see that there are so many people who are showing so much love for one of South Africa's most loved musicians.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's only right that he be remembered in the way that he is. So, yeah, fantastic.
Rest in peace. Well, not feeling the love, guys, it's the beef between Bonang and Somizi. Now remember how we suspected that the two of them could be making up after Bonang basically sang Somizi's praises after this year's Psalmist. Well, the hopes of a reconciliation are not going to happen because Bonang has said unequivocally that the two of them are not friends. Now, while she says that they do respect each other because they're at the same events, they're in the same industry, she has made it clear that it's only because they're being professional. Somizi has not mentioned her in his book, but she has mentioned him in her book. We don't know what exactly she says. We'll have to go find out. But at least the two of them are writing books. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Book deals, baby, for the win. And who knows, anything can happen in the future. They could kiss and they could make up. I always say life is too short for bad blood between people.
Absolutely.
Could be a publicity stunt. Go buy our books to find out.
You never know.
I was
You
just
never
about to
know.
say that. Absolutely.
Well, there you have it. That was our local entertainment news for you this morning. Stick around. We have more coming in our international entertainment news. But now for this week's edition of Lyrics Explained, Cape Town favorite Chad Simon explains the lyrics behind his latest music video, Believe.
It's MPJ.
Hey, this is Chad Simon, and this is Lyrics Explained for Belief.
Where I never had a nickel or a dime. No, my demons on my side. I spent dreams on the good life.
I remember a time where I never had a nickel or a dime. No Madibas on my side. I spent dreams on the good life. This section of the song is pretty much where I throw back to when I was starting out with music. It's a sense of nostalgia. And I go back to a time where I actually was really starting out. I wasn't making any money off music. I was singing for free all the time, just doing whatever I could to get out there. And literally, the section means I spent dreams on the good life, which means I never had the money, but I was dreaming about the things I wanted.
They said you're not good enough, and you never ever make it with the stuff.
They said you're not good enough, and you'll never ever make it with the stuff. I read their bluff, no poker face, no love. So I played my song, Seeing Stars and Moving On. I wear the music crown, I'm the prince of the get down. There'll always be people who would say you can't achieve something. This part of the song is where I actually say that they said you're not good enough and you'll never ever make it with the stuff, which is pretty much what the lady said. And when I say I read their bluff, no poker face, no love, I'm actually saying I knew that what she said to me wasn't the truth. She was just probably projecting her own her own boundaries for me. So I kind of just read their bluff, no poker face, no love, and I just kept working on my music and kept going on. And the lyric that says, so I played my song, Seeing Stars and Moving On, it's quite metaphoric because I was seeing stars as I was coming up, I was meeting bigger artists, but at the same time, Seeing Stars and Moving On were the first two songs I ever released in about 2008 and 2009, so I thought I'd throw back to my first two songs in the song. I wear the music crown, the prince of the get down, pretty much just means the feel that I have on the single as well as Nights. I've taken on a bit of a role of making people two-step and just like have a bit of a get down on the dance floor with music that's made now but inspired by some old school funk as well. Oh, belief, when I got you, nobody can touch me. The chorus of the song touches on exactly what it's about. It's saying when you have belief, nobody can touch you. But I kind of personify belief to make it seem like it's a person. So it's like I'm kind of shouting out to a person saying, when I got you, nobody can touch me. But it's about having the confidence and the belief. And that's pretty much the message I want to get out to everybody.
Oh, believe when I got you, when I got you, nobody can touch me. Nobody can touch me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Simon. Now, if like his legion of fans, music is your thing, why not enjoy a Music Friday? Vodacom is about to make your day with free data. Explore Facebook Monday, Lifestyle Tuesday, Gaming Wednesday, Instagram Thursday, Music Friday, Sports Saturday, and of course, Video Sunday. To qualify, go and buy yourself a Vodacom 100 meg data bundle or more and have a positive data balance. Then dial *111 *634 hash, or even easier, you can just download the latest My Vodacom app. And remember to opt in daily. Don't miss out on up to 1 gig of free data every day from South Africa's best network. And for more information, you can find all of the terms and conditions at vodacom.co.za.
Well, it's that time for us to now take a look at what's trending online, all those interesting, funny and random, and I suppose scary as well. We can add that to the list.
Yeah, scary, absolutely. But, I mean, because it was scary, it made it exciting, I guess, as well. Now, we talk about the J-Bay Open. We know that it's a fantastic surfing event. You know, it's been there for many, many years. But I think this year's J-Bay Open would be remembered as one of the most exciting championship events after some very, very dramatic moments. Now, for the second time, Australian surfer Mick Fanning had to be pulled out of the water after they spotted a 3-meter great white shark. Just check that out. And after the shark left, of course, you know, they were very chilled about it. You know, the surfers went back to complete their lineup. But I think on the same day, what made it very, very exciting as well is that one of the rescue boats had to actually ride out a massive set wave to escape a very scary situation. So basically facing the surfers, paddling out, back out to the water, the patrol had to surf its way onto the shoulder of the wave to avoid any more drama. I mean, just look at that. Now you can see why it was one of the most exciting ones.
Oh, wow.
It looks amazing, though, like something out of a movie.
Look at that.
Relatively scary. Those waves are huge. Why would you go out there?
Oh, wow.
This is the level of what these guys are.
Go.
Wow.
I can't deal. How about this one? A tweet from the Twitter user @asamantha went viral after she suggested that Walt Disney should do a remake of the movie Hocus Pocus. However, this time she says it should be set in New Orleans and the 3 powerhouse actresses that we saw in Hidden Figures should play the lead characters. Could it work? Well, the interwebs are all for it. So I think it would be amazing.
That's
Taraji P.
cool.
Henson, yes, for the win.
Hocus Pocus, yes.
There you go. Well, that's what we got for you for this morning on What's Trending. If you spot anything online, do let us know. Let us know on social media with our hashtag Expresso Show.
At Samsung, we develop technology so you can live life. Samsung, a way of life.
So we're going to take a very quick break. When we return, it is so cool to reconnect with Philip. This gorgeous young starter to, of course, announced herself on the world stage back in 2014. She has had so many successes since then. Cannot wait to hear you perform again.
excited.
Just for us, just for you. Then we're going to test your knowledge with a little game of Expresso Rewind. You better get warmed up. We'll see you in a sec. It's your feel-good breakfast show indeed. Why? Because Philippa makes a return to our studio for a brilliant performance. Now, of course, we first met you back in 2014.
Yes.
She won the International Ryan Seacrest cover song competition with a haunting rendition of One Direction's hits, and it was just such a cool way to see you break into the industry. But since she has released numerous hits, and she's about to perform one of those for us right now, it's 17. The stage is yours.
Friends can be lovers, but I know something different. I love you like a brother. If we're talking about commitment, been 4 months since you've come around, 'cause she's taking up all your time. You don't text me like you used to, while she's creeping on me online. I know you're not that good at confrontation. I won't sit in the back, you know it's unlike me. She thinks that I'm trying to be a competition. She can't be what we used to be. Let's take it back to 17. Up and tell me something. When she leaves and you got nothing, who's gonna comfort your emotion and make sure that you're not broken? After trusting all that you said, don't think I won't forget it. And I don't need no fake friends. You need a break away from her chains. I know you're not that good at confrontation. I won't sit in the back, you know it's unlike me. She thinks that I'm trying to be a competition, so high on insecurity, something that you don't see. Let's take it back to 17.
It is amazing to see how far you have come. You've always been amazing, but it's just,
Thank you.
You can see you're an artist now, and this is incredible, man. Thank you so much for that. We've got Philippa sticking around all morning. You can let us know on our social media platforms what you thought of that performance and how far she has come. But right now, let's get back into our news headlines.
In your morning news this morning, South African Reserve Bank Governor Lesetja Kganyago has announced that the repo rate would be cut by 25 basis points to 6.7%, or rather 6.75%. The prime lending rate, which is the interest charged by banks to clients, will thus drop from 10.5% to 10.25%. Economists widely expected the bank to keep rates on hold, which has been the case for the past 16 months. Workers at the 10111 call center say that they will go, or rather that their strike will continue until the police ministry agrees to give them high wages. Nurse Mdleche, the provincial secretary of the South African Policing Union, says the strike is more than 3 years in the making and comes as a result of expectations from the union of salary increases. The union is demanding 10111 operators earn the same salary as warrant officers by the end of 2018. Now moving further abroad, the United Nations says that for the first time in the AIDS epidemic, more than half of all people with HIV are on drugs to treat the virus. In its latest global report on the pandemic, the UN AIDS agency said there are particularly encouraging signs in Africa, a continent ravaged by the disease. Eastern and Southern Africa are leading the way, reducing new HIV infections by nearly 30% since 2010, with Malawi, Mozambique, Uganda and Zimbabwe having cut new HIV infections by 40% or more since the same year. And then finally, the UK and EU are still at odds over citizens' rights and the amount the UK will pay to leave the bloc at the end of the second week of Brexit talks. EU negotiator Michel Barnier says the UK had not been clear enough about where it stands on these issues, and that was hampering the process. The two sides are meeting for 4 days each month, with this week's talks aimed at scoping out points of difference and common ground in those areas that have been identified as requiring urgent attention. Well, that was your 7 o'clock news update. Let's get our very first look at what's happening in the world of sport. Here's Graham.
We dive right into our weekend sporting lineup with rugby this morning. We are down to the last 8 teams in Super Rugby 2017 with the quarterfinal action scheduled this weekend. The Stormers host the Chiefs tomorrow in a repeat of last year's quarterfinals. And now last year's result, of course, saw the Cape Town side going down by 60 points to 21 at Newlands. But they've already beaten the Chiefs at home this year, so a very different narrative. And then elsewhere in the quarterfinals, we've got the Lions tackling the Sharks, the Brumbies facing off against the Hurricanes, and the Crusaders, they take on the Highlanders. Then staying with rugby, the new season of Currie Cup action gets underway this weekend with 3 matches on the cards. Our 2016 champions, the Cheetahs, who went unbeaten throughout last year's competition, they kickstart this year's campaign with a clash against the Sharks in Bloem tonight. Then tomorrow, Griquas entertain last year's beaten finalists, the Blue Bulls, while on Sunday, the Lions travel to the Pumas. Then the Confederation of African Football announced last night that the Africa Cup of Nations tournament will expand to now include 24 teams. The change from the current 16-team format will be implemented at AFCON 2019, which is set to be held in Cameroon. The decision was also made to have the tournament moved to June and July, which will end the current scheduling conflict, which causes players based in Europe to miss out on January fixtures. Then finally bringing it back home, Brazil's Felipe Toledo was crowned J-Bay Open champion yesterday after defeating rookie Frederico Morais in the final, securing his 4th win of the championship tour. Toledo scored 18 out of 20 in that final to finish just 0.27 points ahead of Morais. South Africa's Geordie Smith, on the back of those 2 perfect scores, was knocked out in the quarter-final stage, but did enough to retain his 3rd place on the 2017 World Surf League leaderboard. I have a feeling again that it is his year, and that's where we leave our sport for now.
Well, let's take another look at your roads. In Gauteng and Sandton, there are roadworks on Sandton's M1 southbound with multiple lane closed near Grayston Drive. So please be aware of heavy traffic from Woodmead the Drive. If you're in Gauteng, Soweto, on the Soweto Highway eastbound, there's been an accident that's between Nasrec and Boysons. And in Cape Town, heavy traffic across Cape Town's major routes this morning, including the N2 inbound between Bunga Avenue and Hospital Bend, as well as on the M5 northbound and the N1 inbound. That's where we leave your traffic for now on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Let's quickly get another update in terms of your weather and those temperatures. And it looks like most parts of the country can expect nice and chilly start this morning, warming up to mild temperatures. You can expect some sunshine up in the northern parts of the country. And then over the weekend, you can expect some light rain along the southern Cape Coast. That's not tomorrow. That will move up towards KZN on Sunday morning. Jou temperature vandag Polokwane 4 grade minimum en 'n maximum 22. Mbombela 8:24. Pretoria 7:22. Johannesburg 5:21. Mahikeng begin op 5 grade minimum. minimum, dit styg na 25 later. Klerksdorp op 5 grade, 23 maksimum, Kimberley 22. Bloemfontein lekker koud vanoggend, -4, maar dit styg na warmer 20 later. Richards Bay 13-24, Pietermaritzburg op 6 grade minimum en 'n maksimum 22. Durban kicking off on 17, rising to 22 degrees. Tata on 4 degrees minimum and a maximum 22 as well. East London 9-20, Craddock -2, reaching a warmer 22. Port Elizabeth 9-17, George 7-17, Sutherland -2-16, Cape Town 10-16, Worcester 0-18, Springbok on 3 degrees minimum and a mile 24, and Uppington kicking off on 5 degrees minimum, reaching a mile 25 degrees later. That's a wrap of your weather for the 7 o'clock bulletin. We've got one update left to you coming heading your way just after 8.
So when it comes to picking a bank account, it is important, no, in fact, it's vital to pick an account that suits your banking needs and behavior. And the Nedbank Pay-as-you-use account is ideal for clients with low transaction volumes and offers everything that you need from a fully transactional account. You get a free debit card, unlimited card swipes, and free online and mobile banking. And you can even do all your banking on the Nedbank app without using any data to boot. Brilliant.
Lots of free. I love free.
Yeah,
I love
free,
that word.
free.
Now, this account has a monthly fee of R5 and you pay only for what you use, and you can add additional benefits when you wish. Now, if you're interested in saving with Nedbank Pay-as-you-use account, just SMS NedPayU to 30755 and the Nedbank team will be in touch with all of the information that you need. SMSs are free and terms and conditions can be found on nedbank.co.za.
I'm a dreamer, a doer. I know the hustle. I just need my money to hustle for me.
Let your money hustle for you. Get a bank account for R5 per month and bank on the Nedbank app without using any data. See money differently. Nedbank.
Well, listen, time for us to now play a little game with you. It's our Expresso Rewind game, and basically we want to know, did you tune in for every Expresso show this week? Have you been listening and paying attention? We're now going to play Expresso Rewind with the team, and of course we'll have a question for you at home as well. Are you guys
nervous
ready?
I'm confident when you say, have you been paying attention? I'm like, man.
Have you been listening?
Have I?
So do you guys have your sounds?
Yes, I'm going to go back to ooh, ooh, ooh.
Nah. I'm trying to find a fast sound. Nah.
Nah.
Okay.
Wow,
Yeah, the
that
key
was
is quick.
faster.
Cool.
Yeah,
Are you guys ready?
Ready.
Yes.
So the rules are, please wait for me to finish the question.
Okay.
Don't look at the tablet. First sound gets the opportunity to go. So first question, when was Nelson Mandela born? Okay, go,
I feel like
Leanne.
yours first, sorry.
Wow. So it's like
It
that.
was in 1918 on the 18th of July.
And that is the correct
And we'll have a point
answer.
for all of us because we
You
all got
guys
it right.
can
That
start
was
playing
like
at any point
photo
in
finish. It
time.
was like
I'm sorry, I just
France,
feel like
photo
Leanne's
finish.
sound
So
just has that.
it's one each. No, because she doesn't completely wait till the end. That's why. Okay.
Okay. Half a point to the guys, 1 point to Leanne. Is that fine?
No, that's not fine.
Okay. Next question. Where was actor and singer Nipo McKees born?
Ooh.
I'm sorry, I beat you again. Can I go?
Go.
Sorry, like go.
When
Was it Peter Maritzburg?
It was Peter
It
Pan.
I was born there.
Peter Maritzburg. Well
It feels
done.
like we need an actual judge.
Cool.
know, man.
Next question. What is
Make
Sully
yourself look
Philander's
hotter
new
and
show
you have
called?
points. Get out there.
What? I didn't read it.
Y'all missed the question.
I wasn't here. It doesn't count.
Okay, Graham.
I wasn't here Monday.
coat.
That's correct. 2 points, Leanne. 1 point, Graham.
One and a
Half a point,
half.
Ewan.
1.5.
One and a half, Graham. Cool.
That.
Next question. Type 1 diabetes occurs when the pancreas produces little to no what?
I
heard
you
Ewan.
before.
Ewan.
Insulin.
It is insulin.
Thank you.
There we go.
You did not wait. You did not wait.
Okay. Well, listen, of course, I promised you I'll have a question for you at home as well. Our question for you this morning is, what did Zola Nene's mom usually add to their uputu? Let us know. Share the answer with us on social media. If you're not sure what it is, you can visit our YouTube channel to watch, videos from this past week and listen out for the correct answer.
Good win, Leanne. Good win.
Well done.
Good win.
Good
Well
win.
done.
I feel like
Good
her
win.
sound has that
Good win.
advantage
Yeah.
to always be first.
Well, guys, stick around. Last one to
pain.
come to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. If there's any viewers out there who would like to participate in the official judging panel of the ridiculous sounds that we make throughout this game, yes, please let us know. Meanwhile, we're talking smartphones after the break, what South Africans use them for, and the hashtag #ItCanWait campaign, what that's all about.
No ball.
No ball. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
At Samsung, we develop technology so you can live life. Samsung, a way of life.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso on this Friday. We are now turning our attention to smartphones.
Yes, indeed. What an interesting survey. We all have a smartphone and definitely know the impact they've made on our lives. Now, they've become, I think, an extension of our personalities, of our psyches. They've allowed us to be more connected than we ever have before. And the 2017 South Africa Mobile Report, which is based on a survey of nearly 5,000 mobile users across the country, has revealed some really interesting stats on how South Africans are using our really smartphones at the moment.
Well, I you know what, I always justify the fact that I always have my phone on me is it's my office.
Yeah, very
I don't
much so.
do 9 to 5, so I kind of always have to have my phone. But what do the rest of the South Africans do?
Well, let's start with browsing first and some of those browsing habits. And this is where people are browsing. And this was incredibly interesting. So we come in at about 35% of people use their phone as soon as they wake up, okay?
Oh.
And that's for browsing, not just for your alarm, okay? 44% browse whilst in bed, lazy. 36 browse on their phone whilst watching TV. 16 use their phones during a meal, very rude. And this one, the most revealing of all, 13% browse while in the bathroom.
Ah,
Shame
makes
on you.
sense. Well, they have, okay, well, so from how they browse to how long?
And this is where our kind of connection to technology really comes to bear. So 42% of respondents use their smartphone for between 30 minutes and 2 hours a day, which would seem normal, especially when doing business and living through your phone the way that we do. But 18% have revealed that they're on their cell phones for over 5 hours a day.
Sure, that's I can imagine
scary.
they're permanently plugged into a power bank
Yeah,
with
they've got
some
the power
sort of
bank,
battery
yeah.
line. But you know what are people actually using their phones for? Like, do they actually do online purchases? Is it online banking? I know there's a big increase in that trend in South Africa.
Very much so, and I think we've seen a big leap forward in safety as well. So 42% of people are using their phones for banking at the moment. 47% for buying airtime, which stands to reason, I suppose. 22% use their phone, 22%, to pay bills. And 43%, and this is a big sign of the times, still aren't feeling safe to do transactions on their phones. And I kind of fit into that. I'm a little bit nervous, I
Still a little
suppose.
nervous. Well, you know what? There are over 27 million, internet users in South Africa, and I think a lot of people want to know what do they search.
Well, this is a good sign of where the country is at the moment and how cell phones can be used effectively. 42% are looking for job information, really cool. Another 42% use it for directions and maps. I certainly fall into that. 41% on weather, again stands to reason. 40% contact information and 40% news and fake news. It's fake news, man. It's fake news.
I'm surprised messaging options didn't come on that.
Yeah, man. Oh, incredible stuff. So that's how South Africans are using their smartphones. And we have to say a big heads up to Samsung. Can you believe they are 4 times as popular than any other smartphone provider in the country as well? And that is a startling fact. So that's how we use our smartphones.
Thank you so much, Graham. Well, now that we know what we use our phones for, we also need to ask, how do we decide which phone to buy? The all-important question. Now, it can be a very, very daunting process, I'm sure, like you would know as well, for consumers out there when deciding which smartphone to buy. Now, there's really so much to think about. So we're going to run you through all of those considerations this morning with our tech expert and editor of bandwidthblog.com, Tienus Jansen van Rensburg. Goeiemorgen, meneer.
Morgen.
How are you doing, my sir?
Good, and yourself?
Good, man. So listen, I was just looking at everything, we're talking about, but nowadays it's almost like back in the day when you considered buying a PC. Now you need to look at the same kind of things when it comes to your smartphone, that you hold in your hand. So let's start at the top, man. You go into the shop, you see the smartphone that you want. There's a list of numbers and sheets and stuff that you need to look at. So what does it all mean? How are we going to make sense of it?
Right, so as you said, it is kind of like buying a PC back in the day, right?
Yeah.
So you have to look at different aspects and different needs. We'll talk to different decisions that people make. But we should be looking at the screen, the RAM, the processor, the camera, and also the design of the device. So let's start with the screen. I think that's first and foremost the most important part for a lot of people. You're looking at it all the time. So first of all, it depends on what the size of the device is that you really like. So a lot of people like a really big phone, a really big screen. They probably like to browse a lot, to read on their devices, to watch videos, a lot of YouTube content, for example. So those people probably want a larger screen. Now, when it comes to screen quality, People often only look at the type of display, so is it an LCD display or an OLED display? But it's very important to look at the quality. So for most people, we believe it's a 1080p screen is more than good enough. If you are a super user and you're going to spend a hell of a lot of time and you want a lot of detail on your display, that's when you're going to bump up the quality like we have on the Galaxy S8, for example.
Let's run through things like the processor and RAM. What are some of the things that we need to take in consideration? Because Snapdragon, I hear that's being thrown around quite a bit as well.
Well, yeah, so most devices these days run on Qualcomm's chipsets called the Snapdragon range. And when you're looking at a spec sheet, you will see Snapdragon most likely if you're in a store. We also have the MediaTeks, the Exynos processors, and also the Kirin processors. But let's just stick to Snapdragon as that's the most that people will see. So there's three basic ranges. You've got the Snapdragon 400 series, the 600 series, and the 800 series. Now, 400 series is going to be for your cheaper devices. So if you just need a phone to do the basics, you're going to WhatsApp and go on Facebook, that should be fine for you. If you are, once again, a heavy user, you're going to use a lot of intensive apps, a lot of business stuff, you're going to be wanting to move up to the 800 range.
All right, cool. I just want to touch on the selfies, and it's a big thing nowadays. People are just taking selfies and that, but megapixels don't normally, make the difference at the end of the day. So how do you know which cameras, what do you need to look out for if you're thinking about, I'm going to spend my time taking selfies?
Well, it's a common misconception that people think more megapixels means a better camera, and that's not true. So, for example, the Samsung Galaxy S8 has a 12 megapixel camera, which isn't anywhere close to the maximum you can find on the market, but it's one of the best cameras in the world because of its aperture. So that is the size, basically, of the sensor. So it kind of shows you how much light it can bring in, and that'll be a better image quality
at the end of the day. Tianis, thank you very much for joining us, man. There's really a lot to take into consideration. But if you want more information, you can get in touch with this man, editor at bandwidthblog.com, and you can ask all of those questions, and he'll be more than willing to help you out.
Well, talking about cell phones, they do provide a world of information, entertainment, and connection. But did you know that they can also be incredibly distracting? Wow, they say it's always fun and games until somebody gets hurt. That was quite insane.
Yeah.
Well, Sipho, it is so good to have you on the show this morning because this morning we're talking about, that was the hashtag It Can Wait campaign advertisement advocating against texting and driving, released this week, or rather this past week, by the Western Cape Government Safety Home Road Safety Initiative. And we're joined by spokesperson for the Western Cape Minister of Transport and Public Works, Sipho Dube, and we're warning against the dangers of texting and driving. I'm still so caught up in what I saw there. But it's good to have you on the show.
Good to be here.
Because this is a very important thing that we're talking about. Even with the hands-free kit, let's start over there. How much of a driver's attention is actually on the road? How distracted are you really?
Well, it's undoubtedly that hands-free kits are definitely the safer option. That's no question. But levels of distraction depend on the driver. It depends on who you are, it depends on what the conversations are that you're having in the car. But undoubtedly, it's definitely safer to use this as a hands-free as opposed to having your phone.
So let's talk about the hard facts. How many accidents and deaths are caused by people who use their cell phones for either texting and driving, or even being on the phone and driving?
Well, it's very hard to pinpoint one exact cause or one cause in isolation in a crash. We did a study, Safely Home did a study done by UCT in 2010 that tells us that 3 main causes are contributing to fatal crashes, and that's alcohol consumption, speed, and distraction. And they can exist either together or individually in crash situations. So it's very hard to pinpoint just one specific thing.
Okay. Why is it so important to see the kind of explicit ads that we see these days when it comes to road accidents where cell phones may or may not have been used?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, it's very important, and this is the kind of the ethos that we adopted Safely Home is to show real situations as they happen, as we experience them. Not everyone has gone through them, luckily, but in some instances you probably would have. The second reason is that we do Safely Home attitudinal surveys every year, and we still find, particularly here in the Western Cape, that a lot of people find that the problems associated with road safety don't relate to them.
Yeah.
They somehow feel like these problems are someone else.
Yeah.
You know, other people behave badly and not them. And with this campaign, it's not deniable at all how prolific, firstly, cell phones are in our everyday lives, and we pretty much are certain that motorists have been guilty of being on their phones while they're driving at one stage or another. So it's important for us to show them the real and serious effects of what that can have on your life.
How much reach has this ad had?
Oh, we've been amazed at the reach. Locally, it's been over 1 million views on both of our platforms, Safely Home and our Facebook channel.
Yeah.
Internationally, it's estimated in the millions, close to about 40 million. It's been shared on various platforms from as far afield as Australia, all the way up north in the UK, and even in the US. Fox News channels, it's been shared widely. You know, Norway, a lot of people have seen it. A lot of our traffic enforcement authorities in those various countries are sharing it on their websites. So it's very hard to gauge how many people are seeing it, but we're excited that they are responding positively to it, and hopefully it will trigger a change in behavior.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's very important for us to stop sugarcoating things.
Yeah.
We need to sometimes see the hard truths,
Yeah.
and this ad is definitely one of those hard truths that hopefully we will not just see, but we'll actually take home and start implementing positive change in our lives.
And that it can wait.
Absolutely. It can wait. Thank you so much, Sipho, for being here with us. And remember, hashtag it can wait when it comes to texting and driving. You don't have to pick up that phone. You don't have to answer the text. And if you absolutely have to, pull off the road and make sure that you are being safe, not only for yourself, but for other drivers on the road too.
Oh, very incredible ad.
That's one of the coolest ads I think I've ever seen. Well done to the team, man.
Well
Very
done
cool.
to them. Well, listen, to keep you entertained this weekend, Vodacom is going to make your day, offering customers a chance to explore more of the internet with the Make Your Day campaign by giving you access to new sites every single day of the week with up to 1 gig free data.
It really is a cool approach. And I think Friday we celebrate because it's music, and on Music Friday, Vodacom is giving you access to stream some of your favorite radio stations, as well as access to the music streaming app Ukes. And Saturday is all about sport, and then tomorrow another great day for Super Rugby. Obviously, we've got the quarterfinals. We've got 3 South African teams competing for a spot in the next round. The Stormers taking on the Chiefs at Newlands. The Sharks up against the Lions in Johannesburg. Going to be titanic.
That's right. And to ensure you have a relaxing Sunday, Vodacom will be giving those who opt in access to YouTube and VooClip to share and stream video content from across the World Wide Web.
Brilliant stuff. So all you got to do first off is go to vodacom.co.za to see a full list of those partnered websites.
Yes, and all then what you need to do is make your day is buy a Vodacom 100 meg data bundle or more and have a positive data balance. Then you dial *111 *634 hash, or you download the latest My Vodacom app to opt in. Now use your free data this weekend to keep yourself entertained.
All right, well, still ahead on your Feel Good Breakfast show this morning. These gentlemen over here, they are aiming to do something absolutely incredible. We introduced you to them after the break. 1,400 kilometers on a bicycle in just 5 days. That's what they're aiming for. And that is also the National Decorative and Arts Fair that's taking place. We'll bring you up to scratch as to what you can expect this year. Join us after the break.
Get a free Dream Maker pillow when you buy selected bags of Hills dog food.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now, every 4 years, Great Britain holds one of the world's greatest endurance cycle races where riders face the challenge of competing across 1,400 kilometers in under 5 days. From the 30th of July to the 4th of August, competitors will pass through an incredible range of scenery as they make their way from London to Edinburgh and then back to London again. So a lap, basically. And we're joined this morning by 3 local cyclists who seem pretty pumped up for the task at hand. They'll be taking on the epic adventure. Welcome, Wimpy van der Merwe, Chris van Zyl and Nico Coetzee. Gentlemen, does it make you nervous? Does it become real when we start talking about those distances? Maybe, I can start with you, Wimpy. This is incredible, 1,400 kilometers. How do you even begin to prepare for a race like this? Do you ever stop training?
Cycling becomes a 7 days a week kind
it's your
of
bed.
event.
Yeah.
You're right. But it's really a fantastic opportunity to be able to ride an endurance event because it makes it something different than the typical racing snakes. Because I use the analogy of a person who's the hare and the tortoise. We are the tortoise because an event like this is one or where you do well is with a less amount of time that you're off the bike for eating and resting. So eventually it is the average speed over the distance
Creating
that
a
makes
scale of economy.
Yeah, true.
That being said, how do you deal with a race like this? Because surely, on day 2, something could start going wrong. The body might change. You just don't know how to deal with what's coming because it's just such an odyssey. Chris, how do you approach this from a mental aspect to get into this kind of challenge?
Yeah, you need to work on your mentality. The lack of sleep is a big problem. Yeah, day 4 is really hard. You want to sleep everywhere. In the night, in the day, in the summer, in the rain, next to all the bars. So it's a big challenge.
Now I'm beginning to understand why this is such a good trip going to Scotland. Yes. Maybe I can put this to you, Nico. What are you most scared of in something like this? What can happen? Have you fallen asleep on the bike before? What are some of the biggest worries?
Yeah, you probably can fall asleep on the bike. I'm just scared that there's not going to be sufficient beer stops on the route to Scotland.
I love the fact that you do this together. And I would imagine there is an incredible camaraderie, not just within South Africans doing this, but across the globe. What is the best part about doing this kind of event? What keeps you guys doing and putting your bodies through this kind of hell, I'm going to say?
I would reckon stretching the envelope. The kind of person that rides this are the people that have already thrown their toys out of the cot. You'll not find a person here throwing a tantrum because of it not being convenient or like this. It is a person that's really, he's open for suffering. He's a person that handles the hallucinations that starts with night 3. It's a person that really, he understands that there's going to be a bad patch at a point. Somebody else is going to have it. So eventually, by helping one another, in staying in a group or just getting one to not to quit, because it's going to be happening with you. So you need his help at that point.
Oh man, I can see you nodding your heads emphatically there, man.
It's the best sea to explore your country, the world. Absolutely, yeah.
And what a beautiful stretch of country to explore as well. Get those beers in. Carbo loading, gentlemen. All the best of luck. And this is really inspiring, I think, to a lot of, not just cyclists out there, but people looking to find a new way to embrace their bodies and embrace the world. This really is cool, gentlemen. All the best of luck and stay safe.
I think there's a tracking device if people would like to track us. And I think Nico would be in a position.
Yeah, we see the map behind us. Yeah. We have a Facebook page as well. So if you just go to @MoveMyBicycle, you would be able to track us live with the spot trackers over the 5 days since we start.
That's a long distance, gentlemen. Thank you so much. All the best of luck. Happy and safe travels out there. Most importantly, just stay healthy and sane, if it's even possible. And there you have it. What a way to embrace the world around you.
Well, we now direct our attention to our furry friends, and small changes may seem unrelated, but if you've noticed your pet sleeping more or acting less excited about playtime, it's likely that they're actually seeing some signs of aging.
Absolutely. Now, Dr. Peter van der Merwe from City Vet Botelsburg gives us a more in-depth look at what a senior pet vet check entails and why exactly regular checks in senior pets are so important.
This is F. May. She's a Jack Russell. We got her in about 2008. My wife went to buy, I think, shavings at a small holding near Malmesbury. Brought back a dog instead of shavings. She's probably the oldest dog in our house. We have 4. So she's the senior dog. She has an incredible appetite. It's probably one of the reasons I want to do a check on her today, is to see if there's anything actually going on in there. But she will eat anything and everything. She loves her walks, but she's very much a solo player, so she doesn't go with the other dogs. She always goes off by herself. She does her own investigations, loves people. If there's a lap available, she'll be on it straight away. Old dog in the family, but a very young dog at heart. So I suppose when you live with a dog, you don't notice things as much. I suppose I'm lucky, being a vet. She comes into the practice every now and again to have a bath and toenails clipped, and then other people notice things for you. So we noticed that she's starting to put on weight. That goes together with a big appetite, so it's a little bit of a warning sign for us. We noticed that she's stiffer in the mornings, gets up slower, takes a little longer to get going. Very excited about her walk, but you'll notice when she comes home and she settles down that she's down and quiet for longer than the younger dogs are. So it's just that slight slowing down. Regular checkups give us a way to get a baseline. Where I see that we have tested dogs and checked dogs even a year previously, and then we recheck on an annual basis, you see small subtle changes, and you can do stuff and react so much quicker.
We check his teeth, which are quite clean today, Styles. Yeah, well done.
In F. May's case, we have been able to follow the small changes.
Senior pet check has got a few parts to it. Listen to what the owner says.
Secondly, we start to examine the pet. We want to look at the teeth. We want to look in the ears and eyes. We listen to the chest. We want to listen very carefully to the heart, and all those things are normal in F. May. Then we will have a feel on the abdomen, check the skin for lumps and bumps, and last but not least, feel the joints.
Tenderness in the muscle there, which is pretty common in older dogs.
Then we'll do a blood pressure. Their blood pressure should be about 120, anything about 165, and we're going to start taking note of that. So F. May's blood pressure is a little high, so we typically will do it 4 or 5 times and then average out the result. So even the 159, which is the systolic pressure, which is the one that we are most interested in, is okay. So anything less than 165, I would imagine if she settles down, this will probably drift down to 140. So nothing to worry about over here. And then last, we will draw blood and we'll send blood away to be checked. So we've drawn some blood from F. May, and the reason we do that is we want to check certain body systems that are not easy to examine from the outside. So we want to see what the livers and the kidneys are doing. We've also drawn blood for hematology, which means we're going to count the red blood cells and white blood cells. We'll check her sugar, we'll check protein, and that gives us a very good overview about what's going on. And the process is the same for dogs and cats. Obviously, drawing blood from a cat might be more entertaining, but most pets are actually very compliant and we get through things pretty quickly. So diet plays a fundamental part. If you think in human medicine, if we could put everybody on a diet and fix 90% of the problems, the world would be a different place. So in animals, we are able to adjust diets to help almost any disease process be easier to treat. So the results of F. May's exam and we hope blood work is good so far. Everything is checked out as I expected. A little bit of pain in the lower back, which I hadn't really noticed before examining her today, but everything else is good. So I expect is going to have a very normal blood profile, and all we're going to do with her in the future is recheck things in a year's time.
Well, did you know taking your pet to the vet once a year is equivalent of us visiting the doctors once every 7 years? So take your older pets to the vet for a senior check and help keep them younger for longer.
Do you love love visiting eclectic South African art galleries, quirky historical designer shops, and do you have a soft spot for antiques? Well, then you should definitely not miss the National Antiques and Decorative Arts Fair that's happening at the Mall of Africa next weekend. We're joined by Clyde Terry, who's the organizer of the event, to give us the ins and outs of what we can expect. Clyde, good morning. Welcome to Expresso.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You know what? On our show, we see so many new trends, so many new happenings, with new furniture, new ways of decorating one's home. What I want to know is, how relevant is antiques in life today?
Well, antiques will always be relevant because they're something from our past for a lot of us, and they're unique in the world today. You know, so many of these things will never be repeated. A lot of the things were made by top designers of the world, and therefore their relevance is huge today as well. And you're finding a big trend with decorators to position unique pieces within the modern furniture as well. So you've got a trend of living with antiques, which is mixing the old in with the new, which is quite an amazing trend in this day and age.
We've seen that quite a bit. Now, is antique trading a niche market, or has it become more and more diverse in recent years?
Over the recent years, the antique industry has embraced the collectible nature of antiques, which is items from the 50s, 60s, 70s, more recently the 90s. That basically takes it a lot further, you know, than it ever was before, because antiques are really 100 years and older. So with us embracing the collectible nature of things, which is things that are outside of the 100 years, the relevance is huge today.
Wonderful. Well, let's talk about the event that's happening next weekend. Tell us more about what we can expect.
It's going to be incredible. We're doing a very niche market fair in the Crystal Court at Mall of Africa. So it's a wonderful concept within the mall, and I think the whole idea is to take antiques to more people. A lot of young people, when they hear the word antiques, they sort of get a little bit concerned that they need a lot of money. So we thought we must take it out into an environment that's not in a convention center or in a conventional space to introduce a wider public to antiques. We have a great opportunity for people to have items valued in aid of 67 blankets for Nelson Mandela. So if you've got anything that you've ever wondered about, any treasures that you were left by your granny or whoever, pop them along and have them valued.
Wow, that's amazing. Clyde, I'm so excited. Next week is definitely, that's the event that you have to be at. Thank you so much for being here and, of course, for bringing some of these beautiful antiques along and getting us excited.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff. Well, from regal to retro, from vintage to Victorian, the world of antiques is now bigger than ever before. Be sure to catch the annual Antiques and Decorative Arts Fair happening at the Mall of Africa from the 27th to the 30th of July 2017. Definitely not a fair to be missed for any collector or antique lover.
We're going to be gone for just a second. When we return, we are knitting for a good cause and we get into Bonang's B-Mojis. We'll see you now.
Welcome back. You're tuning to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso only on SABC3. Thank you for joining us nice and early on your Friday morning. Right now, getting into your international entertainment news. And it's a rather sad start this morning.
I think we were all shocked and devastated when we heard about reports on the death of Chester Bennington. Now, according to multiple reports, the Lincoln Park frontman ended his own life at a private home in Los Angeles a few hours ago. Chester's been very open about his battle with drugs and alcohol in the past. However, it is unconfirmed as to whether any of these were used at the time of his death. Now, he leaves behind a wife, Linda, and 6 children. And I must say, may he rest in peace. This is devastating stuff.
Very, very sad.
Really, really sad.
It's a big shock, man. You know, because I was a big Linkin Park fan. You know, especially throughout my matric year. You know, going through and listen to his music and his songs as well. And yeah, he was such a phenomenal artist.
I heard also some people saying that depression may have played a role, and of course we know that depression is not a discriminator of race, of who you are, where you come from, and I think it's always important to just tell people how much they mean to you in their lives.
And we also need to remove that negative stigma that's attached to mental illnesses. We do.
So our thoughts and prayers definitely go out to all of his friends, families, and all of the fans around the world. So another interesting story, or maybe quite disheartening, is that everyone wants to take a photo with a celebrity wax photo, especially when you get to places like Madame Tussauds. But Beyonce's latest wax figure might be the exception. Now, this photo of what is reportedly Beyonce's wax statue at Madame Tussauds in Hollywood is getting a lot of criticism for, well, the fact that it looks nothing like Queen Bee herself. Now, of course, this sent the Beehive into overdrive, with fans commenting that it looks like Kate Gosselin, it looks like Hailey Duff, it looks like Lindsay Lohan. Some people even saying, is that actually Shakira? And seeing...
I saw a hint of Khloe Kardashian.
You know? And seeing that Kylie Jenner's wax statue debuted the same day, fans were quick to point out that perhaps the same amount of effort wasn't put into Beyonce's. We, however, did some research and found that a few other statues of Beyonce that also look nothing like her. Is Madame Tussauds just not getting it right, or is Queen Bee too perfect to sculpt? Who knows? You can share your thoughts with us at Expresso Show. I mean, come on, that looks nothing like her.
I think whoever the end, sculptors should, when the product's finished, be like, okay, it doesn't look like them. Let's see who else we can assign this statue to.
Exactly. Oh, anyways.
Well, that was our international entertainment news. And bringing things back home, philanthropist Carolyn Steyn, she started her 67 Blankets initiative after being challenged by Madiba's former assistant Zelda Lagrancy. And it's grown into an incredible business, organization, a movement that sees knitted wear keeping less fortunate warm during the colder season. And this year they started out on an exciting journey with an extra surprise.
South Africa's nitwits for Madiba have been churning out scarves thanks to wool generously donated to the cause. Taking the 67 Blankets initiative in a new direction, the finished scarves were distributed across SA and placed in public areas where anyone who needs a scarf can simply retrieve one.
Well, we are here at Zoo Lake, and it is our Secret Scarves Shh mission. So all around our country, we have our Secret Scarves Shh mission, #SSS. So as you'll see all around us, we've got scarves hanging on trees with a love note saying, I am not lost. If you're cold and need me, please take me. Love 67 Blankets. Kiss, kiss, kiss. So it's awesome how many people we have here today, volunteers. We call ourselves Nitwits for Madiba, and it's rockin'.
We are the donors of the different types of wools for these projects. Just partnering up with 67 Blankets has been of such tremendous value to us, in the sense that we know that 67 Blankets will manage their projects very well and distribute these products to the needy. Wonderful work by 67 Blankets, and we are extremely happy to be associated with them.
I mean, wow, this is what South Africa is truly about. Madiba's legacy certainly lives on. This beautiful initiative headed by Carolyn Steyn. I mean, they call themselves the Nitwits. What we're doing here, we are making these things with our own 2 hands. These are scarves that we're hanging in the trees for anyone who was cold or less fortunate. Everybody's coming here in their droves, man. They're just coming on and basically helping themselves, showing some love.
It is an amazing movement. It's bringing together so many people from so many different backgrounds. It's about doing something with your hands to help keep other South Africans warm. It's close to my heart. This is a charity where all you need is your time and your energy and your commitment. And it's all you need, because that's what's bringing all of us together here from all walks of life. I mean, warmth is something we take so for granted. And when you see someone receive something that you made with your own hands, there's no better feeling in the world, knowing that you've done something to actually make someone warmer.
Thank you, 67 Blankets, for warming hearts of so many people in this country.
67 Blankets for Nelson Mandela Day. Thank you for helping keep South Africans warm for all the winters to come.
Don't forget to join our Facebook page, 67 Blankets for Nelson Mandela Day, South Africa, because we are all over the world. Go on through.
Thank you to everyone that's part of this goodwill movement, 67 Blankets for Nelson Mandela Day.
Well, when it comes to fashion and you're looking for a fix on this Friday, do not worry, because we've got the fashion fix up next. Right, it's Fashion Fix on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, your one-stop shop for all the latest in fashion trending from around the world and even here at home. And our eclectic style squad is here to ensure that you're getting the best of the absolute best headed into this weekend. Expresso fashion editor Nick Strelitz is in the house, presenter Tabuji Mtimunya is in the house, and content creator Seth Shezi is here too. Welcome, Seth.
Thank you.
You guys make me smile. Honestly, Fashion Fix is here.
Yes.
Seth, you're looking amazing.
Thank you.
Why are you looking all fine? I'm Feel Good Breakfast Show chat.
I've been reading up on all the international news.
Okay.
So, for instance, starting this week, actually, the biggest story in international fashion is, believe it or not, Celine Dion.
Wow.
I know. We all know she can sing, but who knew she actually knew anything about fashion?
Okay.
So,
I didn't.
Very true.
So back in the day, you remember from '99 at the Oscars, she wore that backwards
That
tuxedo,
thing,
and
yes.
yeah, I mean that was a shocker. And to show us that this wasn't just a one-time fluke, she continued throughout the early 2000s wearing some questionable outfits. Well, when she performed at the Billboard Awards, she came back to perform for the My Heart Will Go On anniversary, and she looked, I mean, obviously exquisite in a couture gown by Stefano Roland. Since then, she's actually been like touted as like the new fashion it girl, looking great in Paris. And InStyle did an entire sort of transformation story on her. Vogue gave an entire takeover of her Instagram account, and even Vanity Fair actually called her a fashion icon.
Listen, like fine wine, she gets better all the time.
I don't know if I'm ready to believe it yet, but there you have it.
Awesome stuff. Okay, so let's talk about Bonang's book launch. What's happening locally, Nick?
Well, you said it, but thanks for that. That was supposed to be mine.
I'm sorry.
Well, Bonang is back. We talked about her last week. I'm sorry to Bush, but girl, when you got it, flaunt it.
Yes.
She's got it. So she dropped her new autobiography this week, Bonang From A to B. Personally, I think it should be called From A to Z, because A to B ain't that far to go, girl. That's like around the block.
There's another book.
No,
She's going to write another book.
Well, no, I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
Another still from the book there. But in it, she talks really heartfelt about the journey she came from nothing and made it to, starting alongside Halle Berry in, international beauty campaign. She's really come a long way. Also dropped her B-emojis this week, as if she couldn't get any bigger. She's the first South African ever to have her own personalized emojis.
Nice.
My personal favorite is Bonang in the bathtub.
Okay.
Saucy.
Nice.
Bonang sipping that Crystal, both. And then she also have one of a really confident gentleman sort of busting out of the closet with a little rainbow flag coming out of
AKA
his
makes a cameo appearance there as
He's
well.
in like every other one,
literally.
But like,
Wow.
I mean, I want a B-emoji.
Very, very cool.
You deserve a
Bemojis in the
B-emoji,
house.
Nick. You totally deserve a B-emoji.
It's going to be an emoji though.
Okay.
Or emoji.
Emoji.
All right, and then Tabuji, let's talk about some of the global trends making headlines at the moment.
So guys, a lot of guys are really coming into bag wear. And a lot of the times we can see that metrosexuality is being completely redefined. And some of my favorite bags are perfect for every type of guy, starting with the moon bag.
I don't know.
The moon bag. Now, gone are the days of this being like a tourist starter pack or whatever. This is all for guys. Wear it across your body to get that sport luxe type feel, or you can wear it across your waist to kind of get that cool kid vibe. Nice. You know what I mean? The second bag that I absolutely love is, of course, the backpack. Now, this is not the one that you used to go to school with, honey. This one, you just bring it up with a bit of leather, suede. You can wear different ones in different ways. One shoulder, two shoulder, you are good to go. Nice. And then the last and final one is absolutely one that's maybe not for everyone, but we've seen the likes of Ricky Rick and Jerry Mogofe wearing them on various occasions. It is the Messenger. I absolutely love the Messenger because it's practical, it's durable, and it's so easy to rock. Yes,
You
man.
gotta be
Do
confident.
it. Yes.
Well, thank you so much, our style squad, for keeping us in fashion check this week. But don't go anywhere because the fun times continues with our weekly edition of Fab or Fail. It's a no-holds-barred style review, so stay tuned.
All right, well, still after the break, we get to sit down with the fashion experts. It's Fab or Fail time. And then the incredible Philippa is back. She's going to perform after the break. We definitely give her one of the
Fab. Yeah, Fab.
Somewhere in the dark, you can find daylight. Sometimes you can fall by hanging on too tight. Let me take my chance now, let me spin the wheel. Make me your obsession, show me how you feel. I wanna be everything, you know. Everything, you know. I wanna be everything, you know. Eyes closed, we can go anywhere you want. We could make it beautiful. We could make the darkness glow. For a place where everything feels right. It's fine? Is everything right?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we move into the final hour of the show, the week.
That's right. Well, on that note, let's take a quick look at what's in the news.
Dis reg, baie dankie julle. Kom ons kyk vinnig vir 'n laaste keertjie na jou nuushooftrekke op jou Vrydagoggend. In die nasionale nuus, die goewerneur van die Suid-Afrikaanse Reservebank, Lesetja Kganyago, het bekend gemaak dat die repo-koers met 25 basispunte tot 6.75% verminder gaan word. Die prima uitleenkoers, dit is die rente wat banke hulle kliënte vra, sal dus van 10.5% tot 10.25% verminder. Die meeste ekonome het verwag dat die koers onveranderd sou bly, soos dit die afgelope 16 maande was. Dan die operateurs by die 10111 inbelsentrum sê hulle staking sal voortduur totdat die ministerie van polisie instem om hul hoër lone te betaal. Nurse Ndletshe, die provinsiale sekretaris van die vakbond SAPU, sê die staking se aanloop strek oor 3 jaar en is die gevolg van verwagtinge wat oor hoër lone geskep is. Die vakbond eis dat operateurs teen die einde van 2018 dieselfde as adjutant-offisiere moet verdien. In jou internasionale nuus vanoggend, meer as die helfte van die mense met HIV neem tans medikasie teen vigs. Die Verenigde Nasies meen dit is die eerste keer sedert die ontstaan van die vigspandemie dat so iets gebeur. In sy jongste globale verslag oor die pandemie sê UNAIDS daar is veral in Afrika bemoedigende tekens van vordering teen die gevreesde siekte. Oos- en Suider-Afrika het die voortou geneem deur nuwe HIV-infeksies sedert 2010 met bykans 30% te laat afneem. Malawi, Mosambiek, Uganda en Zimbabwe het sedert dieselfde jaar gesorg dat nuwe HIV-infeksies met tot 40% of meer gedaal het. En tenslotte die Verenigde Koninkryk en die Europese Unie verskil aan die einde van die tweede week van Brexit-gesprekke steeds oor verskeie voorwaardes van die onttrekking. Hulle kan nie ooreenkom wat burgers se regte sal wees en wat die bedrag sal wees wat die VK moet optok om die Unie te verlaat nie. Die twee partye vergader elke maand vir 4 dae. Hierdie week se gesprekke is daarop gemik om vas te stel wat die punte van ooreenstemming en punte van verskil is. Dit was jou nuushooftrekker op 'n Vrydagoggend hier op jou Goedvoel ontbytprogram.
We kick off with rugby ahead of a big weekend. We're down to the last 8 teams in Super Rugby 2017 with quarterfinal action scheduled this weekend. With Ulster and Murray back in the fold, the Stormers host the Chiefs tomorrow in a repeat of last year's quarterfinals. Last year's results saw the Cape Town side going down by 60 points to 21 at Newlands. But of course, they've already got one win over the Chiefs under the belt this year, so I think a very different narrative. And elsewhere in the quarterfinals, no changes made to the Lions team as they tackle the Sharks. The Brumbies face off against the Hurricanes, while the Crusaders, they'll be up against the Highlanders. Staying with rugby, the new season of Currie Cup gets underway this weekend with 3 matches on the cards. 2016 champions, the Cheetahs, who went unbeaten throughout last year's campaign. They kickstart their 2017 run with a clash against the Sharks in Bloem tonight. Then tomorrow, the Griquas entertain last year's beaten finalists, the Blue Bulls. While on Sunday's action, it's the Lions up against the Pumas away. Then the Confederation of African Football announced last night that the Africa Cup of Nations tournament will now expand to include 24 teams. The change from the current 16-team format will be implemented at AFCON 2019 and is set to be held, of course, in Cameroon. Decision was also made to have the tournament moved to June and July, which will end the current scheduling conflict, which causes players based in Europe to miss January fixtures. Then finally, bringing it back home, Brazil's Felipe Toledo was crowned J-Bay Open champion yesterday after defeating Ricky Frederico Morais in the final, securing his 4th win of the championship tour. Toledo scored 18 out of 20 in that final to finish just 0.27 points ahead of Morais. South Africa's Jordy Smith, on the back of those 2 perfect scores, was knocked out in the quarterfinal stages, but did enough to retain his 3rd place in the 2017 World Surf League leaderboard. Jordy, it is your year. And that's where we round off our sport ahead of the weekend.
Well, let's take one final look at the roads in Gauteng Galulis. There's some congestion on the N12 and the R24 westbound on both routes heading towards the Galulis interchange due to an accident in Cape Town and Durbanville. Traffic is backed up. That's on the N1 inbound between Brackenfell and Durban Road exit. Also be cautious if you during the mist, if you're driving through the mist this morning, allow for some extra travel time. That's where we leave your traffic for this morning.
Right, let's quickly take a last look at your weather on your Friday. And it looks like most parts of the country can expect a chilly start this morning with sunshine expected up in the northern parts of the country. Down over the weekend, you can expect some light rain along the Southern Cape coastline on Saturday. That's not tomorrow, moving up towards KZN on Sunday. Your temperature vandag, Polokwane 4 grade minimum en 'n maximum 22, Mbombela 8 en 'n maximum 24, Pretoria 7, 22, Johannesburg 5 en 'n maximum 21, Mahikeng 5, 25, Klerksdorp 5, 23, Kimberley begin op 2 grade minimum en 'n maximum 22, Bloemfontein lekker koud vanoggend -4 en dit styg na 'n warmer 20, Richards Bay 13, 24, Pietermaritzburg 6, 22, Durban on 17 and a maximum of 22, Mthatha 4, 22, East London 9, 20, Cradock -2 this morning, warming up to 22 degrees, Port Elizabeth 9, 17, George 7, 17, Sutherland on -2 this morning and staying cool with a maximum of 16, Cape Town 10, 16, 17. Worcester 0 this morning with a maximum 18. Springbok 3, 24. And Uppington on 5 degrees minimum with a maximum of 25 degrees. And that's a wrap of your weather here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show for your Friday morning.
It's the Fashion Fix on this Friday morning, and it's time to get into the best and the worst of celebrity fashion this week. I'm talking fab or fail with our super stylish panel. So what we're going to do is we'll put up an image of a celebrity from this past week, and using their emoji paddles, they've got to vote either fab or fail. So this week we're looking at red carpet style from movie premieres across the globe. Team, are you ready? Yes. Okay. First up, we've got singing superstar Rihanna. Woo! What do you think? Tabushi. Okay, so it's only you, Seth, with fail. Why?
It's the shoes.
Seth, you're hating.
No, I love Rihanna. She has great style, but the shoes I'm not loving.
She looks like a sexy Austrian barmaid. Which is what I always look for.
And you, Tabushi?
Guys, Rihanna cannot do wrong. She is giving us two couture.
Two couture. Okay, what about Tara Reid? Yeah, it's a fail. It's a fail. Nick?
There is a way to dress for a slight frame, but she's not doing it quite right.
Tabushi?
Is that cropped or cut? I'm so confused by this entire outfit.
It's a mess.
hot mess.
That's what it is. Seth?
It's a no.
All right, let's go. That's a no. Okay, let's go over to our next one. The gorgeous Rita Ora. Ooh, 2 fabs and 1 fail. Why?
I feel like anytime you have to hold up your dress, like that's on the trend. Like I love what I'm seeing. Like into it, but
actually, now that I think about it,
walk
it's
all
a
night.
fail. I agree.
Come on, she's getting out of her car. She's wearing, I think that's Vivienne
She's
Westwood,
long out of her car.
which is always weird. She looks great.
She looks great. Okay, what about Kendall Jenner? Ooh, she can do no wrong this morning. Yes,
I absolutely love Kendall. She's doing an off the shoulder that is completely unique with the cuts. I love it.
Nice.
I love it.
Wonderful. Let's look at the next one. Sasha Lane. Sasha Lane. Fail. Seth, why?
Come on, I don't know. She's trying to match her hair with the dress, the front and the look. I don't know.
Where's the hair
I feel like she's going camping on the red carpet. What do you think?
No, it's like combat boots. There's like a mesh train.
Yeah.
Yeah?
And where is the steamer to steam her dress?
Definitely. And then the very last one, Gemma Arterton.
She looks
I love
great.
it.
What? Bougie, you love it?
I absolutely love. Guys, come on. The embroidery, it's simple, it's elegant, it's so stunning. Nick,
you're not loving it.
Outdated.
No, the hairstyle's outdated.
Her hairstyle's outdated. But like, your hair is important. Clearly to me, my hair is important.
Oh, you know what? I could spend all day with you guys, but honesty is always the best policy. Am I right? Well, thank you to our incredible panel for hitting us up with all of the in-demand fashion news this week. It's the Fashion Fix on Vogue and on time.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely fab this morning. We're loving having our guest artist Philippa here today and all show. And she's been proving how far she has come. Coming from a musical family, she's had her sights set on becoming an award-winning artist, and she is on that path. On the back of her international success, of course, she really hit the big time with her single called Chills, which gave us all chills. She's been back in studio, and she's about to give us another one of her new releases, Everything You Know. Take it away.
Somewhere in the dark, you can find daylight. Sometimes you can fall by hanging on too tight. Let me take my chance now, let me spin the wheel. Make me your obsession, show me how you feel. I wanna be everything, you know. Everything you know. I wanna be everything, you know. Eyes closed, we can go anywhere you want. We could make it beautiful. We could make the darkness glow. shattered dream, holding on for dear life. I can take you with me, call it paradise. Far beyond the ocean, lost inside your eyes. I wanna be everything, you know. Everything, everything, you know. I wanna be everything, you know. Eyes closed, we can go anywhere you want. We could make it beautiful. We could make the darkness glow. I wanna be everything, you know. Everything, you know. Yeah, you know. You know. Everything.
Everyone just drifted away. Our Steadicam operator was just drifting away. That's so awesome. I'm loving the kind of style that you've really cemented for yourself. There is something haunting. There is something beautiful about your tone, as always. How cool is it now? Obviously, you announced your kind of arrival on the scene with a cover song, which you did so beautifully. But now it's all about you and about your creative vision. And what is that vision?
Wow. Well, the thing is, like, I took some time out because the Ryan Seacrest thing happened, and I wasn't prepped for it. You know, I just matriculated. It just, you know, it blew up, and I wanted to, you know, take the time out to really focus on my sound as an artist. And it took a while. It did, and it was hard. You know, trying to really figure out what did I want to say, what did I want to put out there, and the sound now with my new EP is just there's like it's quite varied, I would say. Like, most of the tracks are so different to each other, which is beautiful. And I want it to be totally authentic, totally truthful. And, you know, including being vulnerable, including, like, really sharing my deepest thoughts. And that's really what I wanted to bring out.
You've nailed it, and it really does. It's going to cut through the clutter, certainly on the pop charts. They're very radio-friendly as well. Congratulations.
Thank you so
man.
much.
It's always so cool to connect with you. She has come so far. You can connect with us on our social media platforms. Let us know what you thought of both of those performances this morning.
Oh, she is such a phenomenal young artist. Philippa, right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Still ahead after the break, we bring you up to speed with the latest in the Pan-African entertainment news. Moyen is sitting right there at the ready. Hello, Moyen. There she is, bringing you the roundup.
That's right, and she's always so stylish. And since it's National Savings Month, we're going to take a look at 5 nifty ways to save on your wardrobe. We'll see you after the break.
The search for a better way to soothe itchy skin conditions began over a decade ago, and we discovered the answer beneath the ocean. Our natural active ingredient, CEMK, is derived from brown sea kelp, known for its powerful anti-itch and anti-inflammatory properties. The result, 100% cortisone-free itch relief that's suitable for the whole family. Dermikelp for itchy, irritated skin and scalp conditions, including eczema.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Good morning and welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. We certainly love our Fridays because we've got entertainment reporter and founder of YouTube channel The A1 in studio with us today to give us the lowdown on all things Pan-African entertainment. Moyeen in the house. How are you, darling?
I'm good. How are
Looking
you?
all like fabulous.
I know it's Friday, gotta chill it out a bit.
We're chilling it out a bit. Okay, let's start off with what is happening with this next issue of GQ magazine.
Yes, so Nigerian-born John Boyega is on the cover, which is huge. He's on the cover of GQ. So this is a really big thing. Nigerians, feeling very proud right now.
Yeah.
And he's been speaking out, and he had it's a beautiful photo shoot. Yeah. But also, he's actually speaking out quite a bit in the article. He's calling out diversity. He's calling out Game of Thrones.
Wow.
He's saying where the
lack
black
of diversity. Yes.
It makes sense, but
So true.
it's like you coming for Game of Thrones is a big deal.
I think there was like one black guy
That's
in
the
the
thing.
history of the show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he was calling them out in the article, and he's making his mark. I mean, he's still fresh in the industry, but he's doing amazing.
Come on,
things.
Game of Thrones,
Yes.
get it together.
They need to come through.
Definitely. Okay, let's talk about beef in the industry.
Oh,
Because
gosh.
there's always
You
beef.
know what? It's so crazy because we spoke about beef in Nigeria between like Wizkid and Davido, and now this is Shatewale, Sakode, Stonebwoy, and these are all huge Ghanaian artists.
Yeah.
And they're pretty much kind of arguing about who's the big dance hall artist. What? Because Ghana really brings on the dance hall artist, and so he's like, I'm the biggest, I'm the greatest. Sakode's like, no, it's me. It's just a weird beef.
Yeah.
These artists just need to collaborate and give us something amazing all together.
Exactly. And the thing is, you don't have to tell the world you're great. Just be
Exactly,
great.
just be
be great.
The greatest don't say it.
Exactly. This
Yeah.
is the truth. Unless you're Muhammad Ali, and then you
then
can say
you
I'm the
go say-
greatest. Okay, cool. And then finally, from artists that have beef to artists that's actually complementing one another. Who you got?
Well, we got, so this is quite interesting. Also from Ghana, we got Vince Mense. Now, he is signed to Rock Nation, and Scooter Braun is his manager. So that's a combination that's quite powerful.
Yeah.
And Jay-Z has called him a once-in-a-lifetime artist. What? Which is huge. I think the last time Jay-Z spoke so highly about a young artist was with Rihanna, and we also had that worked out. So he had a listening party hosted by Jay-Z. Beyonce was there. Beyonce introduced him. I mean, the caliber of people that he has surrounded himself with, and he's from Ghana, is insane. So we are really proud. He's one to watch. Definitely one to watch.
Well, he's gonna be great.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
I see what you did.
Amazing. Moyeen, thank you so much.
Thank you for
You know
having
what?
me.
Entertainment news out of Africa inspires me. Our people are doing their best.
Amazing.
They're doing
Yes,
the
they
most,
are.
and we should definitely support their music and their films and their everything.
Everything.
Awesome stuff. Talking about support, why don't you support Moyeen on the youtube.com/the A1 TV, and make sure you follow A1 on the social media. Tag at the
we go.
A1 TV. She is definitely great.
So when it comes to fashion, we all love splurging on new clothes. All of us absolutely love it, but it is National Savings Month. We've been taking our hashtag #MySavingsPledge, looking at one small thing we can do to save money every day, maybe every week, and let those savings grow so that we can spend that money on something worthwhile. So now we're going to tackle our wardrobes. Our in-house fashion editor, Nicholas Strelitz, is here to guide us on how we can be fab every day without breaking the bank. Did you see what I did
an
there? eh?
intro.
Did you see what I
No,
did
I
there?
like
man?
that. Now, what are some of the best ways we can save on wardrobe? Because I know there are ways.
There are ways, like I'm fully broke, South Africa. Like, I don't know why I'm doing this segment. No, but it's because I love fashion, and there are smart ways that you can still love fashion, get product, but also save a bit of money because times are tight for everyone, right?
Really.
My first top tip would be to invest in basics.
Okay.
Yes. So you want sort of a basic wardrobe, things that really go the distance. So whether it's a nice pair of smart denim, a black coat like you've got on there,
Denim
so many ways.
denim
Yeah.
jacket. You don't actually need to go buy other pieces. So like my wardrobe that I have right now, I could literally wear these for years and years to come. All the other pieces I buy are add-ons, nice to haves. But these I know go the distance, so I'm saving so much there.
100%. I
Yeah.
love that. Then another tip. I think we all want to feel good when the quality is
Quality over quantity. Now it sounds tired, but we say this all the time. Invest in pieces. Don't be afraid to spend a little more on those pieces because they get you through years of wear. As opposed to buying 100 pieces that last 4 months, just pay a little more. I know on the day it seems like you're like, oh, should I do this? Like it's a bit more. But again, you're gonna save so much money in the long term because they're gonna last that much longer.
I can imagine. And about the current pieces we have in our wardrobe right now, what's the best way to look after them?
Washing, Zoe, I'm so glad you brought that up because that is so critical and I get so upset about this. People overwash their clothing. What happens when you overwash your clothing is the dye, the natural color starts to fade and the shape starts to go completely, right? So top tip, what I do, for denim for example, I dry clean my denim.
Okay.
I know it's a bit crazy,
But you wear it more than once before you send it off to dry cleaners
of course.
as well.
But what this happens is I have 3 pairs of denims that I've probably recycled for 4 or 5 years of my life. What the dry cleaning does, again, it protects the dye, it keeps the dye intact, and the shape spot on.
Oh, and you want that for your jeans. Then I think being savvy when it comes to fast fashion.
Savvy. Fast fashion. We live in a fast fashion age, obviously. So new product comes out every 2 weeks or so, right? My top tip here is to sort of buy off season. Okay, so right now we're going into summer launch already, right? We're halfway through winter, right? So all the winter items right now will start to get discounted now. So you actually want to buy and stock up for next winter now.
That's my kind of shopping.
Right? But you have to, and you buy neutrals, you buy things that will work for next winter. So again, you just have to be smart about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I'm guilty of this impulse shopping, buying in the moment.
God.
How can you avoid that?
I think, I mean, I've had to control this a lot in my own life as well. I think you just need to be a savvy and smart shopper again. So I see something I like, yes. I then go to 2 or 3 other retailers. I do my research online. I go thrift shopping, because you can only find the same thing.
Cool as well, yeah.
Yeah, you can find the same thing.
So my rule of thumb is if I still think about that item 3 days later, I go back and buy it.
Exactly. So you have to.
She asked all of us in studio, should I not? And Nick, thank you so much. You are a wealth of knowledge. Well, there you have it. Being on a budget doesn't mean that you don't have to shop like a pro and you don't have to look like one either. Go out there and spoil yourself, but do it in a savvy way.
I take big leaps. I make plans and backup plans. I just need my money to take me further.
Let your money take you further. Save or invest and get a great rate. Pay no monthly fees or commissions and get fully guaranteed capital. See money differently. Nedbank.
All right, so from fashion to food in the Expresso kitchen, we're about to soup up your winter. Yes, it's time for one of those awesome souped up soup recipes with the souped up Zola Nene. Yes, she's got a very lovely bow in her hair this morning, feeding that Friday vibe. Hey? Awesome stuff. Listen, nothing like a good soup, of course we know this, to warm you up, especially that we've seen the cold winter temperatures, you know. You want something nice and solid
You want
in the tummy.
something really filling, but something really simple to make, but that's hearty. And that's soup, you can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. So what we're making is a spiced carrot and sweet potato soup.
Oh yes, and
man.
And I'm sure everyone's had carrot soup or sweet potato soup, but we're souping it up by making it spicy.
Where are you going with this one?
Yeah,
This is very fancy.
Okay, so it starts with some leeks, just some chopped leeks that have been softened in some olive oil, or you could use an onion, or you could use spring onions, whatever you have in your fridge.
Yeah.
Then here
But
are the
go
spices.
with leeks, because that is what Zola does.
There we are. So a cinnamon stick, some garlic, some cumin seeds, and some chili.
Yes.
Okay, and you can do those according to how strong you want the flavor. I quite like the flavor of cumin. For some people, it's very overpowering.
Yes.
And that's the chili. That's the chili.
Okay, that's the chili.
So you want to make sure that you cook it for at least 30 seconds to a minute, just to sort of cook the spices. Okay.
Yeah.
Then at this point, we're going to add our carrots.
Right.
Okay. You could use just carrots, or you could use just sweet potato. Sorry.
Just be warned, it's
So these are sweet
it's a
potatoes.
dangerous soup to make. Yeah.
These are the orange sweet potatoes that have the beta carotene in them. You could use the regular white sweet potatoes. That's fine too.
Okay.
Okay, so just stir it all together.
You're feeling all right?
I'm fine.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so then some salt, just to season a little bit here, and then some pepper, and then the liquid for this is you could just use some water.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of flavor in the spices and the chili.
But
we're going to use some.
You see, there's always a but.
There's always a but, yeah. Some
What do we
stock.
have here? Vegetable stock.
Vegetable stock. Let me just stir it up.
All right,
look,
here
it's
we
all
go.
gelatinous and delicious. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Gelatinous and delicious.
Yes. Okay. Some vegetable stock or chicken stock or whatever stock you'd like.
Okay.
And then some coconut milk. So this is just tinned coconut milk.
Right.
Okay. Pop that in there. You can already tell
Beautiful.
that this soup
There
is
we
going
go.
to be next level, right?
I think
It's
if anything is
creamy.
souping this up, it's not the combination of sweet potatoes and carrot, it's the coconut milk.
It's the coconut milk and the
Yes.
spices, absolutely. Okay, so what you want to do is make sure that you simmer this until the vegetables are soft. You don't have to cook soup for ages and
Yes.
ages. It'll take about, what, 15 to 20 minutes, just
Yes.
because it's soft vegetables. Then you blend it up, okay? Then I'm going to do a switcheroo.
Okay, while you do the switcheroo, the keyword is soup. SMS that to 33728. That's soup to 33728 to get your hands on the recipe too. Careful, Zola. Our spice, carrot, and sweet potato soup this morning. Oh, lovely. Some
And then
greenery.
some greenery. So I'm adding parsley today, just because, you know, Graham's going to have some of the soup and he doesn't like coriander. But you could add coriander to it if you liked. And that's it.
And that's it. So basically you just kind of blend it fine.
Blend it really fine until it's smooth. You can add a little bit more water, a little bit more coconut milk, a little
Okay.
bit more stock if you want to water it down, but I quite like it quite thick.
Yeah.
And then serve it in bowls and you're ready to go. Souped up.
I wouldn't serve in a plate. In a bowl would be good. If
Okay. It's that kind of Friday.
Soup is the keyword. SMS that to 33728. Zola's going to show us how to make a delicious bread accompaniment for our special soup soup this morning.
Yes, indeed. From that coriander-less, gelatinous deliciousness, we move on to some Dukkah spice bread in a moment. Then Darren Amos is in the house for our Friday funnies. If you thought Ewan was funny, whoa, stick around. We'll see you after the break.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, right on SABC3. Jumping back into the kitchen with a lovely Zola Nene, who's recovered now from her chilly cough a little bit
Yes,
earlier
I have. I'm all right.
So we made this awesome soup. If you've missed it, that keyword was soup, SMS 33728, and then you can say to get the ingredients. But right now, we need to have a nice little hearty bread to it. So
Oh, yes.
a Dukkah spiced. Seems like Dukkah's been featuring quite a bit this week, eh?
Well, I mean,
we used it in our Avo mousse
I
as
know,
well.
it's delicious, right?
Yeah.
It's nutty, it's spicy, it's delicious to go with our spice soup, yeah?
Okay.
Okay, so because I like shortcuts and sometimes life is too short to make your own dough, you can just go to the supermarket and buy it.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Easy
just
like
ask
that.
the bakery department, or you can make it.
Yeah.
It's very simple: flour, yeast, salt,
Yeah.
sugar, water, knead it
and-
all together,
and
leave it to
dough.
rise, and there you go, you get dough, right? Okay, so then what you want to do is you want to take your dough. So I'm going to give you half and I'm going to take half.
Okay.
Okay, so once you get it from the supermarket or you've made yours, you want to knock it back, okay, to its original size because it's already
Should we
risen
need some
once.
flour or something on
No,
our hands?
no,
You
no,
okay?
Don't
No.
worry. Okay. So this is where the Dukkah comes in. So this is Dukkah spice.
Right.
But once again,
what is
you
Dukkah
can-
spice?
okay, so it's got nuts in it. It's got some sesame seeds in it. It's got like a combination of
Okay.
spices in it as well.
Interesting name.
You can make it yourself. It's an Egyptian spice.
Yeah.
Or you can buy it as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see it.
Okay, so
cool.
Dukkah spice, and then we're going to add cheese because, adding cheese
But
to
this
bread.
is not any cheese.
This is Parmesan cheese.
Parmesan
Or you
cheese.
could use pecorino, which is a sheep's milk cheese, which
Yes.
is wonderful. Okay. Mix those two together. Then you're going to break up your balls, your dough balls, your dough ball into balls.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
So just little balls. Don't be too particular about the size. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we've got a bowl full of olive oil. So what we're going to do is we're going to dip the dough ball in the olive oil. Okay.
Okay.
And then
So
we're
try
going
and
to
make them kind of even.
not really.
Not
it's
really?
okay.
Oh.
I think the more rough and ready, the better, hey?
Okay.
And then into the cheesy mix, and then dust the ball in the cheesy mix.
Okay.
And then line a bread tin, and then you pop the ball in the bread tin. Okay?
Just
Just like that. Don't listen. Sometimes, fussing
Okay,
isn't
wait,
necessary.
Sorry, I dropped it in the spice already.
Oh, well, that's you
It's
messed
okay.
it up. You
It's
messed
okay.
up the whole
I didn't mess it up.
I'm
It's all
joking,
good.
I'm
It's all
joking,
good.
it's all good.
SMS the keyword bread to 333728. That's bread to 33728, and we'll send you the recipe to make this beautiful Dukkah spiced bread.
Yep. So once you've coated all your balls in the Dukkah cheesy spice, and you pop them into the baking tin, you want to leave this to rise. So cover it with plastic.
Yes.
Preheat your oven at that stage to 180 degrees. Cover this with plastic. Leave it to rise for about 30 minutes until it's doubled in size.
Okay.
Then you take the plastic wrap off. You put it into the oven. Bake the bread for about 30 to 35 minutes, just depending on how. If you tap the bread, it should
Yeah.
sound hollow. That's how you know it's cooked.
Aha.
Okay. And then you're going to serve it with your soup.
So basically, this is almost like a break apart bread, which is amazing.
like a pull apart bread. Let me pull some apart so everyone can see. Look at that.
Oh,
Look at
goodness
that. To
me.
have with your soup. How
Goodness me,
delicious.
that looks amazing.
I know.
Zola, spoiling us this morning. So
Yep.
the keyword for our Dukkah spice bread is bread. SMS that to 33728. You can also go check out the recipe for both the soup and the bread on our website a little bit later on today. That's expressoshow.com. Zola, what a legend.
Ah, thank
What a
you.
legend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, it's time for Hashtag Friday Funnies, proudly brought to you by the Cape Town Comedy Club. And during this time, we take a bit of a humorous look at some of the crazy things that are happening in this world today. And here to help us do it is the one, the only comedian, Darren Amos. Woo-hoo. Well, thank you, team. Wow. Darren, so good to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you so much for having me,
This
ladies.
is your first time.
This is my debut.
Okay.
Really, so I'm excited and I'm nervous at the same time.
Don't be
But it's good.
nervous. Let's talk about Tata Madiba. He always makes us feel good.
Yeah, this past week, Madiba Day, everywhere people were doing good. I was a bit concerned when people started doing 67 selfies.
Sure.
And
Who
did that? And then they like their own selfies.
That's it. No.
I mean, Madiba, if he was still around, he'd be like, you must never. Ever. Because, that's just being selfish. It was about giving back and being good to other people.
Yes.
And it's about doing it 365 days a year, just not the one time.
True. Listen, what's happening with Pooh Bear? Got in trouble somewhere.
One of the characters that actually made our childhood great, Winnie the Pooh, has been banned from China.
But why?
Because he looks too similar to the president of the country. I would love to have a cute president. They should actually put him in that mother of jersey and then we'll really get a definition of how good he looks.
But aren't most Pooh Bears got a little sticker that says made in China?
Exactly. So, he's actually been thrown out of his home then. and honestly, there's an upheaval in the bear community. Paddington has come out, said he's not wearing check anymore.
Yeah.
Rupert's out of retirement. Yogi and Boo Boo have left Jellystone Park.
Yeah.
They're giving up stealing baskets because it's a hunger strike. Even Bear Grylls came out and said, you will ultimately survive this,
Wow.
Winnie. We are behind you. The only bear that wasn't invited was the bear from The Revenant, because according to Leo, he can get violent.
Oh my word! Yeah, no, we don't want to mess with that bear. How about what's happening in the world of sport? Apparently, the women are shining.
Our ladies, our cricket ladies.
Yes.
Trisha Chetty, Motswako, these ladies are doing phenomenally well. And they've represented us. They've lost in the semi-final, but let's give due where it's due. Credit where it's due. They were amazing. Let's get a bit pressure. On our men's team, guys, because they've kind of got that whole thing about where people have given the reputation of being chokers.
Yeah.
Here we got these ladies doing the business, hitting balls, catching balls, bowling balls, and they're doing it while they're wearing chokers, Zoe.
That's the only time chokers are allowed, when you're wearing them. Here.
It's back in fashion.
Okay, yes it is. And listen, talking about sport, Brayton Poole making news?
This Cape Town boy. I was watching it. I couldn't believe it. 17 years old, 1.72 meters tall, just broke his personal best, 2.24 meters. 17-year-olds these days can't even jump out of bed.
True story.
I mean, at that age, the only thing I was jumping to was conclusions.
Yeah.
I mean, so I was really excited. He's only 17 years old. Can you imagine when this guy's fully grown?
Sure.
They're gonna have to rebuild those bars that they put the high jump thing on.
Set new standards.
I mean, he has really set the bar, literally and figuratively. I'm excited to what's to come for this youngster.
Oh, I love it. I love
He's
it. No
great.
holds barred when it comes to you, Darren. Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
Darren, thank you for joining us this morning. And remember, if you want to catch more of the action this weekend, make sure you head down to the Comedy Club at the V&A Waterfront.
Let's get it.
So funny, I couldn't bear it. Couldn't bear it. Darren, you're a superstar. Nice debut, brother. Now, how does this sound? For just R5 a month, you can open a pay-as-you-use account from Nedbank, a fully transactional account with everything that you need. You get a free debit card, unlimited swipes, free cell phone and online banking, and all this for just R5 a month. The Nedbank pay-as-you-use account has been designed to keep you in control of what you pay for and what you use, just what you use. Brilliant.
Absolutely. And when you open a Nedbank pay-as-you-use account, you are able to open up to 10 savings pocket accounts linked to this account, and each savings pocket earns up to 5.5% interest. So now you can take your monthly income and budget a portion for groceries, data, renovations, holidays, or whatever you want. And whilst it's out of your main account and safe from impulsive spending, it is comfortably earning interest and growing your savings. And the best part is you can access your money whenever you need.
Brilliant for short-term and I think slightly longer-term saving. And saving could literally not be any easier. So if you're interested, if this has piqued any interest out there and you want to save with the Nedbank pay-as-you-use account, all you have to do is SMS NEDPAYU to 30755. You'll receive all of the information that you need. And in the interests of keeping costs down, that SMS is completely free. All of the terms and conditions, in fact, can be found at nedbank.co.za.
I'm a dreamer, a doer. I know the hustle. I just need my money to hustle for me.
Let your money hustle for you. Get a bank account for R5 per month and bank on the Nedbank app without using any data. See money differently. Nedbank.
Well, still to come on your feel-good breakfast show, JP Sebastian is in the house looking all sorts of fine, and he's going to be talking about the movie Captain Underpants.
Oh, exciting things. And then we're going to spend some time in the kitchen. We're going to cook up some peanut butter crunch cookies, so don't miss out on that. We'll see you after the break.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're just in time for some serious business as we move into the movies. It's yet another superhero blockbuster, albeit one with a twist. in the knickers, to be precise. We're talking about Captain Underpants, that adapts, obviously, the best-selling children's novel series of the same name to the big screen. And when their uptight school principal, hence the knickers in a twist, threatens to sever their best friendship, two class clowns, voiced by Thomas Middleditch and the brilliant Kevin Hart, hypnotize him into believing that he is the one and only titular tighty-whitey wearing hero, Captain Underpants himself. Here's a sneak peek.
We have to turn him back into crap.
I know, but can we just take a moment to acknowledge what's happening here, please? I mean, Captain Underpants is hanging out in our treehouse.
Well, a hero's work is never done. Now it is time to fly again.
No.
Where am I? Ah, where are my pants?
Oh no, he's crap again.
Ah! Tra-la-la!
That's it. Now we know what turns them back and forth.
Turns who what? Why am I soaking wet?
Cool.
Hey! Tra-la-la!
You should probably stop.
Yeah, we probably should.
Stop doing this! Tra-la-la! I am Captain. What are you doing? Hello? Well, hello! What's happening? Fear not! Ah! Didn't know I could do this. Hey, sidekick! Ah! Hey!
Captain Underpants, Professor Poopy Pants. Let's get serious, man. You know, normally it's about movies. This is cinema. Now we're talking
cinema verite, even going to the core of what it means to be man.
To underwear. Dude, this looks like so much fun. Brilliant voices and action there. Great premise for the story. What are your thoughts about Captain Underpants?
I must first admit to being a Philistine for not having read the books this is based on.
Me
so
too, yeah, no,
shame on me for not being more cultured in that sense. So Captain Underpants, which is the name of the movie, is about these two young boys who you mentioned already, Harold and George, who draw comic books, and one of their comic book heroes that they love to draw is Captain Underpants, who's just a goody two-shoe, just do good, save lives, etc., etc. Obviously, the crucial point being that he is in his underpants at all times, and they have, in real life, however, a principal who is a stick in the mud, and must be wearing really tight ones, I suppose, because he never gives them a break and just seems, I suppose, like a really angry, but you find revealed that he's a bit of a lonely guy as well, and he's not a totally bad guy. Naturally, the kids get hold of a ring that is able to hypnotize said principal, and with the click of the fingers, turn him into Captain Underpants, and that's all she wrote. Good night, everyone.
Just by that clip, I'm guessing that there is a lot of fast-paced banter there, maybe breaking that mold of being overly scripted for an animation film, kind of let them breathe as
be
voice
natural,
characters.
absolutely. Like, if you watch the behind the scenes of this, I was in tears laughing, actually, at, that's Ed Helms, who does the principal and Captain Underpants. And also Nick Kroll, who is great as well. Needless to say, Kevin Hart is a natural at this point, even after just doing one in Secret Life of Pets as an animation voice actor.
Fantastic. He was a seed stealer in that, I felt. Yeah.
Totally. But in this one, I think Nick Kroll does the business for this one. Nick Kroll plays the bad guy who is Professor Poopy Pants.
What's his full name?
Thank you very much. Let's be proper about this. It's Professor P.P. Diarrhea Steen Poopy Pants Esquire. What's so funny? I mean, that's precisely the problem. So the professor hates that people laugh at him his whole life and wants to take the laughter out of little kids' minds, and obviously the two boys have to stop this. So they fight a gigantic toilet pot that Professor Poopy Pants rides. With the help of Captain Underpants, they get down to business.
Proving that there is a Captain Underpants in every one of us. Dude, the big question, how many popcorns?
Don't worry, I'm not being a total Captain Commando. This
Banana.
is totally good kids fun. 7 out of 10.
Wow,
trust
cool,
me,
man.
if your kids love poops and if your kids love farts, which is to say, if they are kids,
they will.
Graham's there already.
Oh man, I got a little kid who I call Mr. Poopy Pants, so he's going to be upgraded to Professor after this. Dude, thank you so much.
And hopefully Underpants one day.
Awesome entertainment, and because the kids deserve a giggle over the weekend, or in fact all of us who have ever been a kid deserve it. Catch Captain Underpants at your nearest new Metro cinema this weekend.
Find the best entertainment at new Metro cinemas. It's your scene.
So while you're enjoying your Captain Underpants movie, why not make yourself some peanut butter crunch cookies at that as well? Because the weekend is just perfect for baking. That is what we are doing right now with Chef Zola Nene, who is very, very angry with me right now. And I don't know if she's actually going to talk to me.
Can you tell?
Because that nicely Dukkah spice bread that we made earlier on, I had a taste of it, and apparently we didn't take a photo yet, and now she's furious.
And if you don't take a photo, it didn't happen, right?
But this will cheer you up. Have a cookie.
No, I want a cookie.
Have a cookie. Man,
Okay,
oh man, oh man. Are we just going to make this?
Let's make the cookies.
Hey?
Okay, you're going to mix
I don't know. I don't even know.
as part of your punishment. Here we
So
go.
I don't even know where we stand right now.
Okay, so this is some softened butter. I'm just gonna pretend he's not here. Some softened butter, and to that we're gonna add some brown sugar and some white sugar. I like to add both sugars just because the white sugar will dissolve much quicker and the brown sugar
Oh,
will
look.
give it texture.
She gives me so much sugar because I know that I'm so sweet.
You just keep stirring.
You see?
Just keep stirring, and then we're also gonna add eggs. So
Okay.
could you speed it up a little bit? Thank you.
Yeah. Sure.
Go a little bit faster. And then we're gonna add the eggs one at a time as he keeps mixing. And while he does that,
Like
I'm going
this.
to mix together the dry ingredients. So this is some regular cake flour.
Okay.
We've got some baking powder
Yes.
and some bicarb.
Okay.
Okay, mix that all together.
Was that
you-
directed at me? Were you talking to me now?
No, I was talking to them.
Oh, okay.
You can just use salted butter for this because a bit of salt with this is really nice.
Okay.
Or you can add a pinch of salt if you're using unsalted butter.
Right.
Okay, another egg going in. There we go. Just keep mixing. You can do this in a mixer as well, but if you have a Ewan, you don't need one. And then I like to use some crunchy peanut butter because these are crunchy peanut butter cookies with a bit of muesli added to them for extra crunch. You can use smooth peanut butter as well and a bit of vanilla just because we love a bit of vanilla when we're baking. And then we're going to add our dry ingredients and then I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the Jungle.
Oh, that smells amazing.
Energy Crunch muesli, that vanilla.
Yeah.
Okay, so add the flowers.
Yeah, guys.
And then just to up the nutrition factor, we're going to add some tasty wheat.
Okay. So you get some vitamin A and B and some folic acid in there as well.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's
Some
going in.
dietary fiber.
And then we're going to add the Jungle Energy Crunch Muesli. This is the granola flavor, but it comes in different variants, so you can decide which one you want. You want a bit of raisin in there, there's a variant for that.
Okay.
And this is going to add extra texture to ours, just a little bit in there. And then I'm going to put some into a bowl as well because we're going to add even extra crunch to the outside of our cookies by rolling it in some more Jungle Energy Crunch Muesli.
Got it.
Okay, so you can see it's going to come together.
Yeah.
Okay, you can see that. If it is a little bit sticky, you can pop it into the fridge just until it's easier to handle. Okay, so this one is easier for us to handle.
Right, but this came together nicely.
Comes together very nicely, yeah, and it is a soft dough because the softer, the nicer the cookie.
Right.
So all you do is you roll it into a ball, then dip it into the muesli. It's okay, I can handle it. Thanks.
Oh my goodness me.
We're having a domestic. No. Okay, so then you sort of pat on the muesli.
Okay.
Just like that, and then onto the tray, flatten it just slightly. It'll spread a little bit.
Yes.
But yeah, and then preheat your oven to 180 degrees, and these will cook for about 10 to 15 minutes.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Now the keyword is jungle. SMS that to 33728. That's jungle to 33728. So that you can make your very own peanut butter crunch cookies this weekend. Why not get baking?
There you go.
But if you've missed any of those steps because Zola was completely ignoring me, maybe you got distracted by that, but it's fine. Here's a recap for you.
Add brown sugar, white sugar and butter to a bowl and cream until pale and fluffy. Beat in the eggs, crunchy peanut butter and vanilla. Sift in the Jungle tasty wheat and cake flour. Then add bicarbonate of soda and baking powder and mix. Roll into balls and dip into Jungle Oats muesli granola. Place the balls onto a tray and bake until golden. For the full recipe, visit the Expresso Morning Show Facebook page or log on to expressoshow.com. SMS the keyword jungle to 33728 to receive the shopping list on your phone. Click on the link provided to view the recipe. SMSs cost R1.50. No free SMSs. T's and C's apply.
Okay, here we go. Jungle is that keyword. SMS that to 33728 for your peanut butter crunch cookies. Now, a quick competition for you. Jungle is running a photo competition around the country where you can stand a chance to win an amazing weekend away. Simply find the Jungle photo booth strategically placed in a beautiful location around the country. Then take a photo and tag Jungle Oats to stand a chance to win. Now, if you're in Gauteng, you can visit Lion Park. In Miller's Drift, head over to Horseback Africa. Durbanites, you can go to Belito Beach. And if you're in Pretoria, stop by at Freedom Park to get photographing. Now, these booths will be moving around the country, so keep your eyes peeled. T's and C's do apply and can be found on jungleoats.co.za. Zola, I don't know what I can say or do to make this up to you because I had a meager, small, microscopic little taste of your bread. Mm-hmm. Will you forgive me?
I forgive you.
Oh,
I
yes,
forgive
we
you.
are back. We are back. Jungle is the keyword. It's at 33728.
Jungle, the natural energy champion.
We're back in the saddle with Gareth Woods, our gaming guru, and today we're hanging up our controllers to chat about some of the very exciting events coming up in July. If you've been growing ever so pale in your room, grinding hours out on your console, and your mom told you to go outside and play, then you better pay attention. No, we're going to give you an awesome opportunity to go out and get up to speed on some massive events happening up, certainly throughout South Africa. It used to be Rage. And
yeah,
Rage,
it's pretty much the only thing.
Rage. Now we've got Rush, we've got EGE. Times are good.
Yeah, it's kind of Christmas in July for gamers.
And I was going to ask, is this specifically for gamers or is it a lifestyle kind of event?
Yeah, it's sort of the kind of gaming lifestyle. So particularly the first event that's happening next weekend, which is Rush. It's a new event. It's from the guys who brought us Rage. That's more focused towards esports.
Okay.
And then EGE is kind of the more gaming culture in general.
How do we, when you say esports focused, what does that mean? Are there some big names coming out? Are there going to be tournaments played? What can we expect?
Yeah, so esports, as we mentioned a couple of times before, is the sort of competitive element of gaming. So happening at Rush, we've got, and I'm see if I can remember it all, we've got VS Gaming are hosting a big FIFA tournament. I think there's massive prize money there. There's a Arena are hosting a cage fighting Street Fighter tournament. So literally going to have a cage descend from the rafters to come. And we've got some celebrity death matches happening there. So some celebs are going to go at it. I think I'm actually the ringmaster. I'm going to be doing the announcing on that. So very excited to
No one better for it,
get ready to rumble.
No one better for it.
Yeah.
Really, really awesome. And I think it kind of marks a coming of age for esports here in South Africa. The fact that sponsors are willing to put themselves out there to that degree, that's got to be a good sign.
Yeah, big one. And obviously the key marquee thing that NAG have done before is their 600-seater LAN. They're kind of doing that again for Rush as well. So if you want to bring your computer, play for 53 hours without sleeping, that's the place to do it.
Like every weekend, you can now just do it with more people. I love that. Then the following weekend, EGE. What does the EGE stand for?
Yeah, so that's the Electronic and Gaming Expo. It's now in its third year, and it's Cape Town's pretty much only expo. It was in competition, there was a Rage Cape Town. That only lasted a year. It seems EGE swept them aside, but now it's in its third year. It's at the Cape Town International Conference Centre. And it's a little bit more than just esports. So obviously it'll have the esports thing. There's some international qualifiers there for Counter-Strike. There's some big Hearthstone tournaments, a whole bunch of, sorry, not Hearthstone, but Call of Duty and other tournaments. But then on top of that, it's all your other geek culture stuff. So they're going to be cosplay.
I was going to ask, please, can we include some cosplay, man?
Yeah.
Please, man.
So there's a big cosplay thing happening there. Every year they have a contest, and we see some really phenomenal stuff come out of that. But it's also a great place to find good prices. All your vendors are going to be there selling, everything there is to do with gaming. So you'll find good prices and all the latest
Will we
wares.
see the big brands being represented there? I know, like, internationally, you're coming out of what's happened in Las Vegas recently. We see some big news, big announcements, big releases of things. Can we find those kind of things happening at these events here in South Africa?
So we're getting to the stage now where we're getting closer and closer to getting content that's almost new to world.
We're in real time now.
Yeah, but it's obviously there's always a lag between E3 happens in LA and then you've got Gamescom in August, and so you've kind of got this period in between where it's news everyone knows, but it's kind of, for a lot of people, the first time to get hands on, kind of touch and feel with a lot of new products. So if you've never tried VR, there'll definitely be opportunities to try VR there. I know PlayStation will be there, some of the other big brands will be there showing off their stuff. If you're into overclocking, like getting your computer to run at the most ridiculous speeds, they're doing big workshops there. So pretty much something for everyone if you're a gamer.
Oh, I absolutely love it. A real sign of the times for where gaming is in South Africa, dude. Soak it up.
Yeah,
soak it up. Get outside, get some sun on your face, or some iridescent light, at least, on your face. Now, I know you're going to love it. Embrace your role as director of the cage, ringmaster, cage master, whatever it is, dude. But enjoy it. It really is going to be an awesome month of July. Something for everyone over the next 2 weeks, whether you're in Joburg or you're in Cape Town. Get yourself a spot for the latest in all things gaming. Stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much, gents. Now, we have tickets to give away to two fantastic gaming events. Rush is happening in Johannesburg from the 21st till the 23rd of July, and EGE, which is the Electronic Gaming Expo in Cape Town, from the 28th up until the 30th of July. Now, to win double tickets to either of these events, all you need to do is SMS the keyword GAME, your name and surname, with either Rush if you wish to attend the event in Joburg, or EGE if you wish to attend the event in Cape Town. Entries do close this morning at 9 a.m, so you have a couple of minutes left to enter, and you can enter as many times as you like. Now, each SMS costs R1.50. No free SMSs apply, and T's and C's can be found on our website, expressoshow.com.
Well, we're taking a quick break on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and I have to say our jars are looking good.
Nice. It's time for My Savings Pledge, and that's happening right after the break. I've got mine.
your feel-good breakfast show, indeed. The shenanigans continue on the couch.
For seconds, I thought Zoe's asleep. She was snoring next to me, and I was like, "Are you okay?"
It really has been a phenomenal week. It's been a phenomenal couple of weeks. We've all been on our #MySavingsPledge journey, and boy, are our jars starting to
It feels so good, hey,
It
to
really
know that you're
does feel
saving
good.
money.
So do you want to make a little deposit? Who's making their deposits this morning?
I'm making a contribution.
Okay, good. It's the end of the weekend. You're saving on one big takeout meal because you've got a big family.
That's it. There we go.
So
that's your weekend takeout
I'm
meal.
very happy to say I trained twice this week. It's usually supposed to be 3 times, but I'm just starting out again, guys. So I've saved 2 smoothies so far.
And she's trained so hard, she's been walking around the studio with like a Zimmer frame, okay? So she's earned those smoothies, but you have denied yourself so you can see your savings grow. How good does it feel watching these small increments now build into something worthwhile?
Look at
Your
that.
jar's filling up.
It's really filling up, eh? It's awesome stuff.
I'm feeling a bit out now that I haven't loaded
look at
anything.
yours.
Do you think you're going to continue saving
100%.
once this month of savings is done?
It's really empowering, to know that you are doing something, you're paying yourself first, and you're being responsible with your money. So I'll definitely continue.
Yeah, man. All the things that I can buy with that, amazing.
I love Nick's way of also, telling us today how to actually save with your wardrobe and going about that.
Did you actually take that on board?
I did. I did. I really did.
Guys, thank you so much for pledging along with us, and we'd like you to continue doing that. Let us know on our Facebook page what you are pledging to do a little less without over this month of savings. In fact, in perpetuity, how you are going to save just a little bit and what you are saving up for. So it's been a phenomenal week, and the joy is we get to do it all over again next week.
I'm saving up for a dictionary, perpetuity.
Perpetuity,
Hello.
man.
Perpetuity.
Got that.
So what is coming up next week?
I'm so excited. We've got Elvis Blue on your Feel Good Breakfast show on Monday, so don't miss him. He's amazing, and he's going to be bringing us some feel good tunes.
Yeah, man, some great recipes as well as per usual. Chili con carne with a twist. We put some oats on there as well.
Oh, amazing.
Might sound weird, but it's amazing.
Yeah, frugal feasting as well. One ingredient used 3 different ways.
And then we're going to be merging families with Dr. Eve. Some awesome conversations to come. Go out and have a safe and wonderful weekend. And never forget, we love you.
Cheers,
Too
guys.
much. Too much. Mwah.
Expresso Morning Show, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.